Hello, everyone, and welcome to Championship Sunday in Charlotte. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, joined alongside Nate Doss, along with Nate Sexton. And gentlemen, we're here. We're in Charlotte, an historic city for disc golf. A ton of money is on the line. And Nate, how do we roll into this Championship Sunday?
Boy, all kinds of history going on today, right? At several different levels. But, look, it's 18 more holes for all the glory for not only this tournament, but also the 2021 season. The pressure is going to be ramped up all the way to the finish. We hope, of course. I guess you never know, but it should be a good day. This is 4 good competitors out there today.
Well, and they've been battling throughout the weekend. And Nate, what do they have to do to come out on top this weekend?
Wow. It's going to take a lot of birdies today. Every one of these guys is on their A game. May the best man win. We got $63,000 on the table for these guys. We've got the potential, if we can get the battle that I know we're all hoping for, to see the biggest money putt in disc golf history. The way the FPO went, we didn't really quite get that final putt moment. Maybe we will today. $15,000 potentially resting on one shot on the 18th hole.
We're looking forward to it. And someone who's been doing work this entire weekend so that he could arrive here on Championship Sunday, that's North Carolina's own Nathan Queen. Here he is closing out his first round with the birdie from long range, just tossing it up, finding the bottom of the bucket, and here he is during round number 2, hole number 5. Setting up for the lefty backhand. And guys, he's been doing it on both the tee and the greens. Watching him can the long one there and then moving to the semifinals. Just so consistent throughout as he cashes in the birdie on hole number 2. And then back on 5. That one has set up well for him all weekend.
And look, Nathan Queen, through 3 rounds of play, he's cashed 9 Circle 2 putts against just 3 C1X misses. If you're a +6 between those two statistics, you are taking advantage of the opportunities you give yourself. That shot that we just witnessed, so clutch. Everything was clear as day. Birdie or go home. On a long hole down the hill, gets to C1, and that was not a gimme putt. He hits a big putt and he advances. He keeps his tournament life alive. This is the biggest day of his career.
And after seeing that yesterday, I hope he's calmed himself down. He should have been excited. He moves into today, and take a look at what he's been doing. 7 under, 7 under, and 6 under. Man, that is some consistency, and he needs all of that to get here because he came in as the 28th seed. So tiebreakers were never in his favor.
And he always had to play from the front. First guy off the tee every day. Everyone else could see what Nathan Queen did.
Park in Charlotte, North Carolina, the proud host of the 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships, hosted and presented by Guaranteed Rate. This is your 2:30 p.m. tee time, your men's Pro Open Division. Up first, on the tee from Huntington Beach, California, your 2016 Disc Golf Pro Tour champion, Mr. Paul Macbeth.
Unbelievable opening shot by Macbeth.
I don't know that I would say that hit the fairway. That
Up
looked
next,
left,
from
but it got
Minocqua,
through some
Wisconsin,
gaps, and
please
it's
put your hands
parked.
together for Mr. Adam Hammis. next competitor hails from Carmichael, California. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Drew Gibson. Rounding out our lead card from Kernersville, North Carolina, please welcome Mr. Nathan Queen.
Solid tee shots here on one. We're going to take another look. Paul Macbeth with the opening shot of our final round.
This is so left. I think it's finding that back door all the way down.
Well, either way, he's going to have a tap-in birdie by the time that finally comes to rest. Macbeth with a great opening shot. Jamie Thomas is out on the ground. He's just off the tee of one. Jamie, fill us in. What's happening out there?
Well, hey there, Terry and the Nates. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Hornets Nest course for the final round of the Tour Championships. While many of you at home may have your bracket set with high seeds like Paul Macbeth or Adam Hammis, there is some history out here for the Cinderella story. Nathan Queen coming in at the 28th seed today might have some good mojo on his side. Remember, just a couple years ago back in 2019, it was Chris Dickerson that won the whole thing from the 24th spot in the tournament. So whether you're rooting for the favorites or rooting for the underdog, it's going to be a great afternoon of disc golf. Can't wait to watch it with you. Back to you.
And such a great point. However, Chris Dickerson came in with a little bit higher rating and a little bit more behind him when doing so. He was in that 24th seed due to the fact that he had missed a number of Pro Tour events. Nathan Queen, though, what a story. It would be awesome to see our 28th seed take it down here in the finals. And you guys, you could tell by the eruption of the crowd, they're rooting for the homeboy.
Absolutely. I mean, home crowd plus underdog, there's no way you're going to have the fans on your side more. And hopefully he can take that and use it, give himself some energy and stay fired up out here. I mean, stay focused. That's what it's going to take.
Pretty nice upshot there from Drew Gibson. Should be able to save the par. You know, the one thing about the four guys we're looking at today is I don't think in their minds any of them believe they're actually underdogs, right? Nathan Queen has shown through his interviews and his play that he believes in himself. He is no underdog. Yeah, he knows he's the 28th seed, but he believes he can win. We know Gibson's ultra confident. Of course, Macbeth. And this year, Hammis has proven that he's willing to take things down in the final round as well. So I think all four of these guys truly believe that this title could be theirs come this afternoon.
Here's Adam Hammis for his opening birdie putt on hole one. Just short for Hammis's attempt from outside the circle.
That'll be queen. He is also in circle 2. Nate Sexton, those circle 2 stats might come into play right here on hole number 1.
Wouldn't that be a big way to get it started? I absolutely agree with you. Nathan Queen for sure believes he can win. I think he would admit to being an underdog in that underdog is determined by public perception, not so much by his own mind. I think he's used that as fuel so far, kind of to say, oh, yeah, nobody picked me as a champion here. I mean, I'm sure he's not totally surprised by that fact, but he can kind of go, hey, I'm going to prove something to you.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Right away. That was huge.
And the reaction says it all. Nathan Queen right off the bat. Birdies hole number 1.
Make it 10 circle 2 makes. I think I spoke too soon. And man, is he ever confident. That is just not the putt of someone who is afraid.
Of course, putting so crucial for Drew. A bit of a test here on number 1.
And Drew converts.
I got to believe in Gibson. You know, Gibson has been in this position before. He has played in that 2019 final where he did finish in third position. So Drew does have experience under these conditions.
Paul Macbeth had tapped in, but doing more work was Nathan Queen from circle 2. Count it.
And it was so perfect from Queen. This guy's a reaction just show, man. Gotta love him.
He's going to be running over to hole 2, and while they do that, we're going to have our opening shot by Upper Park. That's going to be coming to you guys in just a few moments as we're taking a live look at the island of hole number 2. And as promised, thanks to Upper Park, we've got our official opening shot coming at you guys right now. Take it away on the Tia 1.
On behalf of Upper Park Disc Golf, the Disc Golf Pro Tour is proud to donate $250 to UPlay Disc Golf for the ceremonial first toss of today's round. To make the throw, please welcome Executive Director of UPlay, Zoe Andike.
All right, and before I get started, I just want to say good luck to all of our competitors and a huge thank you, huge shout out to the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Disc Golf Network. We really appreciate you supporting educational programs like this.
Get in the hole!
And of course, Zoe Andike, our official hype woman of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and understandably so. So we're panning around, taking a look. The island green of hole number 2. Sexton, we've talked about it a little pregame and over the last few days, actually. Hole 2, you feel like quite treacherous and maybe even too punishing?
Look, I'm gonna say this is the most critical shot of the round of the tournament for these guys, and I think that's proven by the fact that not one of these players has missed this island yet. Will it bite? We've seen it bite people in a major way. We saw it destroy Ricky Wysocki's hopes with a quadruple bogey yesterday. Can these guys stay perfect? This shot is so demanding. Hit the tunnel with pace and with an appropriate angle, because if you skip, we're clearly seeing so many discs slide down that pine straw and find the OB, which necessitates that move to the drop zone and an automatic bogey at best. So can these guys stay perfect? So far, they've not had a problem. They all birdied this hole yesterday. I would love to see them do that again, if I'm honest.
Over the first 3 days, hole number 2, in the round 1, he did play as the most difficult. Quarterfinals, the most difficult. Yesterday, surprisingly, playing as only the 8th most difficult hole. But that is on the heels of basically, well, over half the field taking birdies on the hole and bringing the whole average to under par. So, you know, I agree with you guys. It is such a crucial shot. And it's just, it even goes to show you what we saw from Ricky Wysocki yesterday. You can still get on the island and not be in bounds. So you got to be careful with speed, angle control, all of that here on 2.
Needs to skip softly. Oh, that could be costly.
Spotter.
See the spotter giving him the green flag. Macbeth staying in bounds.
And that's really all that matters here, I think. If you birdie it, great. But getting inbounds is so critical, especially because it's hole 2. You don't have a lot of time to recover in this format. This can really mentally break a player. This is in some trouble.
Let's just sit down. Looks like we're getting the red flag there, yes.
It just can't hang on that right side, especially as a left-hander. It just can't stay up on that hill.
The line 1 foot inside of the sponsor wall on the island.
This is also wide. I don't like the crowd noise.
Red flag as well. Any OB off the tee shot does proceed to drop zone number 1, which is just under 300 feet, still on the short side of the water.
This looks good.
As you sit down, checking up right next to the pin, Drew Gibson, a park job on hole 2, throwing the mid-range over. He's got his friend Paul Ulibarri on the bag today. Let's take another look at that. Drew Gibson, just a pure shot on line the entire flight.
And Macbeth is not circle 1, so he has a tough putt coming up, even though he did get on the island. The last thing any of these guys want to do is let Macbeth play the front runner, because that does not end well for anybody except Paul, because he's just been in that position too many times.
Taking a look back at Drew here in 2021, his best finish was 3rd at Idlewild. 71st, however, was his worst finish at the GMC, and he was 8th in terms of his C2 in regulation at 69%. Worst statistic was his scramble, and Sexton, you talked about that yesterday, that sometimes your scramble percentage can be in relation to how often you're going out of bounds and how tough it can be to scramble when you're an aggressive player like Drew Gibson.
I think in the modern Pro Tour, that's exactly what scramble means. It is synonymous with OB. Sit. That's a good recovery.
Forehand. Wow. Does that sit down entirely or not? And he gets the green flag, flirting with danger on the wide side of the green. And Jamie Thomas is out on the island. Jamie, what have you noticed? What have you picked up here in the early goings with just 1.5 holes in?
Well, it's like you guys were talking about in the booth. This pine straw on this island really makes for a slick playing surface. So if you don't bring that disc down on the proper angle, you're liable to slide out to the bottom. You'll see Paul McBeth approaching his lie here in just a moment. He is barely in bounds, guys. Still some work to do left if he wants to get a 2-for-2 start.
Thank you so much, Jamie, as we're taking a look at our competitors walking around to then find themselves on the island. And, man, this is what effectively ended Ricky Wysocki's season right here yesterday as he took the quadruple bogey, the 7 on hole number 2. He fought back to try and recover, but it wasn't quite enough. We see some early challenges here. You were talking about bogeys or double bogeys early on for anyone during the round and how they were able to recover, Nate. What were some of the things that you observed?
Well, I'm about to observe Paul McBeth right here trying to hit this birdie putt from C2. It's a solid effort. Sits down reasonably close. It's got to be Hammes up next, and I'm not sure he has a great line. I mean, that putt has the potential to be pretty blocked.
We were looking at the statistics of Drew Gibson for the season. I think a big statistic is, like I was talking about before, of these 4 men, the only player to have competed in a Pro Tour Championship final on this course. Of course, McBeth has competed in it before, but on this course, Gibson the only competitor in this group. So he has experience under these conditions, and that tee shot on number 2 is going to give him a huge confidence boost.
Looks like Hammes has a fair gap.
Wow, and Adam Hammes doesn't draw medal.
We have seen a strange number of air balls on this green, I feel.
It's going to still be Adam at this point.
And this is for double bogey. Again, he did not birdie the first. So not the smooth sailing he had out of the gates yesterday. He was fantastic to start. Now he's really going to have to show what he's made of to come back.
And he does come back. Rocky start here, and just as you were saying, so perfect yesterday. He opened 3 for 3 during his semifinal round. Today, he's 2 over through the first 2. McBeth for par.
It's par save for McBeth. I think it's critical to remember what we saw from Wysocki yesterday. Hammes was not that far off here on hole number 2, and he's going to walk away with a double bogey. He's got to ignore that and just go to hole 3 and just get back on the horse right away. Can't think about it at all.
Solid putt for Nathan Queen. Limiting it to just the bogey, which is really the best you can do once you've gone out of bounds. Drew Gibson with the birdie.
All the colors of the rainbow, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for our group.
Taking a look at Drew Gibson, the smash on 2, results in the birdie. We'll be right back after a word from these sponsors.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Go, Gotta Throw your disc golf warehouse. With a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, shirts, and more. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com has all the tools to take your game to the next level. Shop online or our Golden Valley, Minnesota store. Free shipping with all online orders over $75. Online or in-store, get what you need for the game you love. GottaGo.GottaThrow.com, your disc golf warehouse. In the game since 1993.
Welcome back, everyone. We rejoin our finalist on hole number 3, Drew Gibson, coming off the birdie on 2, the park job.
A little bit too much flip caught up in that right side.
And what an angle that had by Macbeth. Was that something just super understable there, Sexton?
Had to have been. He swung it out right. I thought maybe he had pulled it and was going to hit an early tree, but it looks pretty good now. I think that's in position to make a play for the basket.
This hook up at the end. I love the shot here by Queen. I talk about that bridge being the perfect landmark to be aiming for or thinking about. You know you've got a good shot when you're within 40 or 50 feet of that bridge.
And Queen just has to take advantage of every left-handed shot today, and he certainly did right there.
Ooh, misrelease from Adam. This, like I've been saying, I really feel this shot is one of his strengths. Very surprised to see that, but he's got an early tree hit.
Well, and Nathan Queen steps up as our only lefty in the group, and he's got signature form with that left-handed pull-through, getting it done out here this weekend. Sexton, let's break this down. You're prominent forehand thrower. What are you seeing in Nathan Queen's left-handed approach here?
I mean, he's a compact and control thrower, and that's why he's so good in the woods. I think the thing that I notice almost more than just his physical movements and his throwing form is that big, deep exhale before all these important tee shots where he's centering himself, making sure he gets his spot on the tee pad, and he's just controlled. He's not a guy that's going to take huge steps, big, giant movements. He keeps it pretty small. He throws far enough, not crazy far, but far enough, especially in the woods, and he's been so accurate.
Well, and we saw the side view when Paul Macbeth teed off here, and Paul several steps behind the back of the tee, Queen completely on the tee there. So, all right, now back to Hammis. That was his second shot, just basically having to throw it, what, about 30, 35 feet? Just to get back to this point, and I'll tell you right now, almost an impossible par from here. Throwing 3.
Yeah, it's totally impossible.
He would have to throw something
from
in
150 plus.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't think he can get. I think past the bridge here would be fantastic.
frustration from Adam, understandably, because he is looking at that bogey. A little bit of a rough start for Hammes. A double bogey on hole 2 just a few moments ago.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, more than a little bit of a rough start. Contrast it with 3 under through 3. He's going to be 3 over through 3. Unless something worse happens. It's I mean, to drop 6 shots in the first 3 holes compared to the ghost of yesterday, that's tough to do.
Nathan Queen in great position. We've seen him with both a birdie and a bogey. Just trying to pick up another one here. Paul McBeth, Drew Gibson. Paul McBeth comes in as our number 3 seed. Gibson, the 12th seed. And we mentioned Nathan Queen, your 28th seed, the highest seed to ever make a finals in the current Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships format and era. And now we've got Drew Gibson talking over his options with Paul Ulibarri.
Drew, one of the most reluctant forehand throwers on the tour. He might have an opportunity to get aggressive. If he's got a window to the sky here, the basket might be still in play with a miracle shot. You got to think he's playing this pretty aggressive. They were looking very high. So he's thinking about punching this out on a bunch of Anheuser and trying to really pull it right. Oh, yeah, he threw that hard. Oh, my goodness.
And what a shot by Drew Gibson.
That was phenomenal. He was out of position. We've seen a lot of people really struggle from that position. He's got himself a birdie putt.
Yeah, high risk, high reward there for Gibson, because you know the higher in the air you throw in the woods, the further you can be offline if you hit something. But Drew, clean. You could actually see it right there. He had quite an open look, and you could see it just finishing there in the sunlight. It'll be a long look, but still a look nonetheless for Gibson.
UDisc has him circle 2.
McBeth exploring all of his options. It looked like he was pretty set on a forehand approach, and now he's just maybe trying to pick the lane he wants to hit.
Yeah, he has 3 large trees that he has to navigate. You can see him there down in the fairway. He's got to pick one side or the other.
I think the shot would be to go forehand flex through the gap on the left.
Oh, get off it.
He's gone straight at it. Should be a pretty easy par, but I think birdie out the window.
Well, and then, honestly, from that position, that's kind of the expected miss, as he was stretched out to the right, trying to pull it back to the left, just not overplaying it enough. And it didn't look like the kick was too bad, so probably an up and down. Now, this is where Hammes landed. This is an extremely crucial shot.
And this is actually a tough position for the forehand, in my opinion. It really needs to break right a long time. Backhand turnover, perhaps with more potential to drift. If he can get some height on this and hit the gap, I think it has potential. Oh, he's cutting the corner. I don't know that it succeeded. Wow.
We have Jamie Thomas out in the fairway. And Jamie, tell us exactly where that landed for Hammes. How much trouble is he in?
All things considered, trying to cut that corner could end up a lot worse. He's just off the fairway there, but he's taking a number over par, as you guys know.
Finally, we've arrived. Nathan Queen is ready to throw his second shot.
Well, this is an opportunity for Queen to, not only have a chance to take the tee, but just get under par. I'm going to give it to him. That's a fantastic shot from Nathan Queen.
Perfectly played on the third.
And again, I think, crucial for him. He has to take, advantage of those left-handed shots. The tee shot a left-handed shot, that second shot a left-handed shot, and both of them executed really within a foot or two of basically his aim point. So nice job from Queen. Now to Macbeth. Just a little chip sidearm up the hill.
And no problems for Macbeth. However, that is going to be a par. He will remain at 1 under. Drew Gibson has a chance to pull himself out in front in sole position of first if he can convert on his birdie putt.
And listening to Queen after he threw that approach, he was speaking to his caddy or one of the people there with him, and I heard him say, man, birdie, birdie, double bogey. And that's referencing his scores on this hole so far this week. And if you want some insight into the mind of a professional, it's hard to let those go. Even though he's playing well now and birdieing it, that double bogey from yesterday still bugging him.
Well, and he's looking at several different potential gaps to hit. It's not a double bogey yet.
Oh, I'm talking about Queen.
Oh, excuse me. All right, well,
it's a nice out.
He is going to be out there. So last year, for your reference, and we all agree this course is slightly harder this year, Kevin Jones won this championship with a 9 under par in the final round, beating out Chris Dickerson by 1 shot. I think we all agree that 8 under par is a tremendous score on this course, and something all the players will be sort of thinking about as they progress through this front 9.
Drew Gibson for birdie.
Wow.
Drew Gibson thought he had it out of the hand. He pauses, and then he runs it down. He is your outright leader through 3 holes. Drew Gibson, again, hole number 3, just as he did yesterday. Solid putt.
With the power he has, the drive wasn't good. He was able to throw a shot that I don't think a lot of players are capable of. To get up there to a 60-footer, and then he connects, and boy, is Adam Hammis on the ropes now. He's 4 over. He's so far out of the driver's seat at this point. He needs help. I don't think he alone can do anything about his situation at this point.
He's not even sharing the same roadway with Drew Gibson, let alone finding a car or getting into a driver's seat. Adam Hammis way back with this rough start, but Drew Gibson taking another look at what he did back on hole 2.
Well, this guy is a tremendous hyzer flip player. You're going to see that on several shots on the back 9, and this long putt. This is a scramble birdie. In 2021, Drew Gibson 5th in scramble at 75%. Right there is proof of that statistic.
And this is a live look at hole number 4's green as they're making their way over to the tee. You see the elevated pin.
Yeah, and the tee kind of right about centered up in your screen, back in these woods here. Players got to come out this corner, and this lower left hand of your screen right now is where the fence line is. And that fence line very key for our competitors off of the tee here on number 4.
I feel right now, today, at the end of 2021, Drew Gibson is the best backhand on the planet. If you're looking at USDGC, where he finished 4th, affectionately, some people call this the U.S. Forehand Championships. He's able to contend without even the use of that tool, playing in the woods. Phenomenal. The way he hits gaps, the power of the angles, the control of the angles late.
Beautifully drifting to the left and gets clean at the end for Drew. Fantastic position.
That is one of the longest drives that we have seen all week long, and really no surprise that it comes from Drew Gibson.
Yeah, and that can set you up like we saw from Wysocki. It can turn that second shot into less of like a super high and hopeful hyzer that has to kind of mess with some hill angles. It can turn it into, for Drew, maybe a turnover putter where he can bring the disc in slow.
Yeah, it was day 1. He threw OB on the turnover. Day 2, he cleaned it up. See how he does on day 3. Here's Queen. It's a tough left-handed tee shot. We've seen Clemens, who is a left-handed player, play well to the left and then throw a spike hyzer. Queen just playing down the middle. We'll see what he's going to do on the second shot.
Yeah, Queen definitely does not have the forehand of Clemens.
Beth going to hit the fence, and a good kick away from the fence.
Nice low shot, great drive. Maybe that'll give Adam Hammes a little good energy as he's starting to move down this 4th fairway. However, Drew Gibson, he's on the momentum train. He's going to keep riding that. We'll take another look at his drive here on 4.
And it's just the power of Drew Gibson, able to throw essentially on almost every shot a 1 notch slower disc than most of his competitors. So if somebody's throwing a high speed, he's throwing a fairway. If somebody's throwing a fairway, he's throwing a mid, and so on and so forth. Yeah, power from Gibson.
Sexton, what are they trying to do here on this tee shot of hole 4?
It's the balance between trying to throw that low ceiling power shot and eat up as much distance as you can, but avoiding the flip up where you test this OB line on the right side, where you're kind of coming in by this pathway. That OB line runs on the far side of that little wall of trees and goes just around this electric box here, or whatever that is, towards the pin. So the kind of, there you see the line. So it's the players trying to push with power to have enough energy to skip, but not flatten that thing up and coast OB off the tee.
Yeah, and really, like I was mentioning, Gibson in round number 1, throwing the big turnover going out of bounds. In the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, he did throw a much better shot, and it is a more challenging backhand. But again, that distance off the tee should make the angle just a little bit better.
And at a certain point, you get to a spot where we saw Ricky, where all of a sudden the approach gets simple.
Straight.
And it's like, it's a 20-foot difference. But
Yes.
if you can reach that point where that wall of trees is no longer obstructing your view of the basket and your flight line, then it becomes one of the easier shots of your day. And I think he might have pushed into that territory with that shot.
And now what this is not going to be is one of the easier shots for Nathan Queen.
No. Is he going to cut the corner low? I think he might be.
Yeah, I saw him with the Bushnell getting the distance.
So the option would be the huge hyzer or the more risky over the OB shot. I think he's going to go with that more risky play.
This is the power pole. Oh, he hits the tree, but inbounds.
You'll take that. That's a gut check shot.
Well, and he was a tree miss away from being parked. I mean, that was good speed,
That
good
was.
line.
That was.
And he's in circle 2.
Paul McBeth confirming with the rest of the group that he's going to take his 1 meter relief. Anytime you have an out of bounds line, even if you're not out of bounds, you can bring yourself up to 1 meter away from it.
This is a great location for McBeth. He's got plenty of forehand to reach the pin. It's just going to be about what slope he lands this on, and do we see any kind of roll away.
He says he threw it hard enough today. And it comes up just a little bit short.
And we know that hitting that tree does put you right on the edge of circle 1.
Udisc has him circle 1. I don't know that he knows how well he got through that tree. I think he'll be happy when he gets up to the green if he sees that thing inside 10 meters.
Now Adam Hammes, that is his dad on the bag, which we don't see too often. I'm guessing his dad made it down from the Northwoods of Wisconsin, a place I'm very familiar with, up near Minocqua and Woodruff. Adam has really risen to become quite the superstar in these last few years.
Something inside circle one would just be the prescribed remedy for Hammes.
It's hard to overstate how tough of a situation he's in right now, having dropped 7 shots from the great start that we made a lot of, deservedly so. We made a big point of that he's the first guy, the only guy we've seen to go perfect through 3. Who could have ever seen it coming that he would be 7 shots worse through 3 holes?
And you see the gallery moving down in real time from our drone overview shot.
Yeah, this is it. See, he doesn't really need to go sky shot here anymore. In some of those earlier rounds, he had to go so high. This is a much simpler shot than we've seen Drew Gibson have to deal with.
There you go.
Deep, but it'll work. He'll have an uphill putt to that basket. And guys, you've both been playing long enough. I want to rewind 9 years ago on this very green, on this very fairway. Paul McBeth took down his first world title. The year 2012, the Charlotte Disc Golf Club hosting the World Championships. I remember it like it was yesterday, watching everyone filter down this very same fairway. Paul McBeth had a comfortable lead over none other than Ricky Wysocki. When it was all said and done, Paul picked up his first of 3 world championships, this being...
In a row.
Yeah, in a row. This being the very site of it. And also a little historic, as this morning Sarah Holcomb was walking down this same fairway, of course, playing this hole. She, too, was crowned world champion right here on this very fairway in 2012.
And you can actually see there's the concrete pin location. This isn't the exact pin location, but that location still there. History.
There's plenty of it here in Charlotte, and Nathan Queen would like to continue to make some today.
Wow, aggressive effort from Queen. Love it.
Well, yeah, if you're Queen,
That's pretty close.
unless it's the last couple of holes and you're forced to lay up, you're going for it. Right? I mean, that's his advantage. He's a great putter.
Here's Adam Hammes.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's going to roll long and out of bounds, but circles back inbounds. I'm not sure a stroke there or not is going to even make a difference at this point for Adam Hammes, but more importantly, you see the struggle with the putter, which is so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, that's tough. Fortunate to get back in bounds, but certainly we are getting close to that point where there's almost nothing left for him to do, and it's crazy to be saying that this early. But that's just how tough this format can be and the class of the players he's trying to chase down.
And it does not appear like it's going to be Adam Hammes' day or tournament out here today. Now, Drew Gibson from outside the circle is looking at just about 40 feet, slightly uphill. That's short, but it stops. All too often we see that hit the side of something like that, possibly roll back at him. It does maintain, so he's going to have the tap in for par. Paul McBeth for a birdie and a share of the lead. Guys, his putter has been money these last 8 to 10 days when he's coming up to these two biggest events that he's faced in the last few months. His putter has been on point, something that plagued him earlier in the year, but not the last 2 weeks.
Perhaps peaking at the right time here for the finish of the season.
Yeah, $50,000 in 6 or 7 days is a pretty incredible run. And Sexton, you played with Macbeth on that Friday, round number 3 at the USDGC, and his putter was just unstoppable.
Yeah, in that rain, we were all beaten down by that rain, battling, and it just felt like every time he found himself 42 feet, he found the middle, and it was a dominant day for him. That's really where he won it.
Well, we're going to take a little flashback to what we saw from him. This was just about 8 or 10 days ago as we watched Paul Macbeth pick up yet another major. That was a par save on 15. Here he was on 17 from way downtown.
Down by 1 with 2 to play.
And then he ended up forcing the playoff with the young Kyle Klein. He steps up. He almost ended it here on the playoff, the first hole, grazing just past the basket. Finds himself at 28 feet for the win. And Macbeth, a 3-time U.S. champion.
And just watch some of the pain of that Worlds loss come flying out of his mouth right there with that scream. Because winning this, that was huge for Macbeth. After going down in the playoff at the World Championships to come through, that was actually, I saw a statistic, something like 7 straight playoff losses for Macbeth dating back to 2015. So some demons there, but he was able to exercise those and get back in the winner's circle for a major title.
Well, the USDGC victory, he also took down the Des Moines Challenge. He took down the Dynamic Disc Open. His worst finish was 18th at Ledgestone. His best statistic, his scramble rate at 72%. And to think that his C1X putts were only 83% and he still had the season he did was absolutely incredible. Paul Macbeth now a share of the lead here at the Disc Golf Pro Tour Finals. Him and Drew Gibson both knotted up at 2 under par.
Made the adjustment, brought it inside that middle tree, and a nice shot from Paul. It's a difficult par 3 here on hole number 5, especially if you're not a left-handed or a long sidearm player. It's ultra difficult. Now let's see what Drew can do.
I believe this is the T-bird that he's been throwing so well on some of these long straight shots. Ooh, does it stay in bounds?
And he connects with the tree again. Jamie, can you clarify, did that kick out of bounds to the right-hand side?
That second tree kick put it really close to the line. We're looking for a spotter flag, but didn't see one, guys. That's going to be close.
UDisc has Drew out of bounds.
It's a bold guess from that UDisc person. So we didn't see a flag, as Jamie said. We'll find out in a moment.
We'll have to see where they were stationed. Here's Nathan Queen.
Oh, this looks great, guys.
Fantastic.
Nathan Queen has been dialed here on hole number 5.
I know, at sporting events, they got the foam finger, but if you're a fan of Nathan Queen right now, you got the foam horns as he throws them up after every great shot.
I love the angle. This just needs to fight back a little bit at the end. Does it stay short of the OB?
Come on. Give this guy a break. That was a great shot, just inches long.
Yeah, you can just now see that line on your screens. He is OB. It'll be a par putt, makeable par putt. But again, Queen, what a shot. as he's able to twist one up nicely. And the distance was perfect. He's not going to need those putting skills here on number 5.
Nathan Queen has got this all 3 rounds. Today, this will be the most important birdie as he's here in the finals.
That's the disc of Gibson.
So if I went here, right, if I went...
Watch out, there's a yellow jacket nest right by your right foot, Drew, right behind you.
Yeah, no, you're good. 1, 2, 3, and then basket. Yeah. I would go here. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just had to check the basket. I didn't know if it was putting it.
Just confirming everything. Everybody within the rules. Tricky shot for Gibson. The side hill by the pin from this angle does make this exponentially more difficult.
Drew Gibson trying to duplicate his effort from yesterday. About the same distance as where he threw it in. Today, unfortunately, it's going to result in a bogey after the OB drive, and Drew Gibson will be falling off of the pace.
Well, and a chance for Macbeth now to take a 2-stroke swing over Gibson as Macbeth has the birdie putt. Look at this shot from Gibson. Tracking.
Wow. And everybody was thinking about yesterday's shot, thinking how in the world could this guy do it again? So close, and right there, Nathan Queen, one of the first to congratulate him on a solid shot. And we've seen this time and time again. Nathan Queen is a supportive friend and fan and competitor out there. He's always one of the first to cheer on a good shot. But right now, Paul Macbeth has a birdie look from circle 2 and to take the outright lead.
Yeah, let's continue to test that putting that we were talking about.
The 50-footer no good for Macbeth.
That'll now give Queen a chance to tie for the lead.
Hamas just about at circle's edge here.
And I think if you're Hamas, you I'll admit this, it's one of the most difficult things to do. You got to put a smile on your face and recognize this is a great experience for your career. Enjoy it. Take it in. Make some good shots. And it's not easy. It is not easy, but it's the easiest thing to do is let everything crumble. It's the easiest thing to do. But at this point, at several strokes over par, he just has to find a smile and try to enjoy himself just a bit.
Some movement behind the basket for Queen for birdie. Count it. Wow, you saw him pause. He had to wait for the spectators. They were all moving out of the way, getting into position for the next tee shot. And once they settled, Queen steps up and hits the putt. Macbeth for par. And Paul Macbeth will remain at 2 under, but he's now a co-leader with Nathan Queen. Guys, this is unbelievable what we're seeing. Nathan Queen, Paul Macbeth, you're going to see that shift any moment now as UDisc gets fully caught up. But Queen and Macbeth sitting in their tie for first, and Drew Gibson falls one behind with the bogey. Man, we're moving over to hole number 7 in just a moment. That's where we saw all of our competitors get out of the way yesterday as Paul Macbeth was hanging out wide over the road, and then just like that, everyone scattered like an ant pile that just got stepped on, and Paul Macbeth went deep of the basket, unfortunately not able to convert. Hole number 7, this feels almost like a musket birdie, or is it just a good opportunity?
Well, I don't think it's a musket birdie. It is a great opportunity. On average, we've seen most of the players making big putts from the left side of the fairway. But, yeah, yesterday Macbeth got extremely fortunate that, 20 people got out of the way for that one.
Yeah, and to clarify, hole 6, I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself. I'm referencing 6 that we're walking up to. And here you see there, in fact,
yeah, there we go,
backing everybody up just in case. This is all in reference to yesterday, what had happened on this very hole, saying, hey, let's give them a little bit more room in case one of our righty backhanders hangs it out wide.
And it should have been that way the whole time. At least now there's no other groups on the course. But that is viable airspace up there over that road on your way to parking this hole as a right-hander.
.480 seems at the edge of the distance for Queen. And a decent kick back into the fairway. I don't think this hole is one Queen's going to hang his hat on at all. Fortunate for him, there's not too many holes like this out there. Macbeth was about 50 feet long after missing all of those fans yesterday. Much straighter today. If you have the power, that's the shot. Highs or flip up, if you can have the power to throw a disc, that you can control that late in the flight. And now Gibson, this is Drew Gibson's wheelhouse. He has got to take advantage of shots just like this one.
That was a great shot from Macbeth. Pretty low.
Drew Gibson hitting early, not making it all the way to the pin. And he is really not even in long range for a putt. Let's see if Adam can at least put together maybe a few highlight shots for us.
Well, glass half full for Adam. The worst place you can finish is 4th. There's no going down from here.
I think everyone but Macbeth on this card guaranteed the biggest payday of their career at this point, with $8,000 being the last place payout for the day in the finals. I don't think any of these other 3 players have ever won that much money in one disc golf tournament. So there's certainly a silver lining.
Macbeth trying to steer clear of any speed bumps out on the road there today, going straight up the middle. And short, but still very makeable for Macbeth. The historic view up ahead here over at Hornets Nest. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a great season here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, along with our Disc Golf Network subscribers and all of you who have jumped in on YouTube for the free coverage this afternoon. A couple of weeks we have the finals for the NADGT, but outside of that, this is the last professional disc golf live coverage that we're going to be offering you here in a historic season. 30 total broadcasts, and we're going to have off-season content coming to you before we ramp up for the 2022 campaign. Here's Adam Hammes with his forehand approach.
And Adam did go out of bounds. It's his 3rd shot. Just to sort of piggyback on that, Terry, I have been a part of touring disc golf since 2000, and I've never once seen a disc golf season like this one. The women, the men, everything. It has been incredible, and I have no doubt this one's going to come down to the finish. Let's listen in.
I'm just saying, like the piece of paper, just use the disc and you kind of gauge how far back.
Yes, you're good with that. You're good.
That's why I'm asking, can I put here? Yeah. Okay.
Drew getting a clarification there as to where he can take a legal stance from. Always a good recommendation at any level of disc golf, amateur or professional. If you're uncertain about a lie or a particular rule that needs to be applied and what your options are, always call over other people from your group and get a consensus before you make what could be a mistake. And Drew, in a very precarious spot.
That is not the basket that you can see there. That is the FPO basket on the left side of the picture.
Solid recovery shot from Drew, but it's going to challenge his putter.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you would want to see for par. A little bit of a stressful par opportunity there for Gibson. Similar distance to a putt for birdie that we're going to see from McBeth. McBeth, the only one with a legit birdie chance here, as Queen kicked back into the middle of the fairway here.
And Nate, you were just mentioning about your longevity and when you started playing. Could you imagine a day where fourth place at a tournament where you're locked into it already, you're still walking home with $8,000?
Well, we always dreamt of it. We certainly dream of things moving forward. And you just don't know when that's going to be. And it just, look, I, as much as anybody, love this sport. It is my life. It has been since I was 6 years old, and I just am so fortunate to continue to watch it grow and watch these guys be able to take on pressure in front of these crowds for this amount of money. It's amazing. It's just an honor to be watching it.
Well, one of the sport's best ever here, Paul McBeth for birdie on hole number 6. This is to move to 3 under par. Count it. McBeth in the center of the chains. He's birdied half the holes here today, and he's going to be your outright leader as they move over to hole 7.
Yep, and a little bit of stretching happening here. Gibson needs this putt to stay at 1 under and only 2 back.
Dancing, but it falls down, and a solid scramble there for Drew Gibson. Hammes picks up another bogey, unfortunately. Queen also with a solid recovery. However, they're all going to lose at least 1. Hammes loses 2 to McBeth. All due to this putt for birdie. We speak of 8,000. That's guaranteed to the 4th place finisher. Second taking 10, or correction, second taking 15, first taking 30, $63,000 on the line here today. Wow. Thank you to Guaranteed Rate. Let's start there.
Yeah, and we already saw all that payout get handed out on the FPO side. So well over $100,000 for 8 players. Unprecedented in the history of disc golf, and the future sure does look bright.
I've been battling hard throughout the entire week. Nathan Queen trying to be that Cinderella story. And another Wisconsin representative, I'll say, in Johnsonville. Thank you to Johnsonville for stepping up and being a partner here of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. Just a few hours from where both myself and Adam Hammes grew up.
Well, yeah, isn't this the perfect time for a brat? Right, Tara? It's Sunday. Pro Tour Championship, the best player to have ever played in the lead.
The Packers are playing the Bears right now. Yeah, it's time for a brat there, folks. I'll bust out my Midwestern accent. Yeah, there, hey. So
Good
let's
stuff.
Get going, Paul Macbeth, all business. 3 down through 6. Low line drive by Macbeth.
Yep, that late tree kick going to steal about 40 feet of distance off of Macbeth's shot, and it will leave him far enough back to where there'll be several trees he has to contend with before hitting the second half of this fairway.
Nathan Queen giving the horns to the crowd as they all celebrate.
I got to step in and say, I think that's NC State Wolfpack, boys. I don't think those are horns. I think that's a little wolf.
The wolf ears, right?
They might call it that. I think that's a go pack.
All right, we'll give him that. Great call there, Sexton.
Either way, they're eating brats there too. Here's Drew Gibson.
Fortunate reaction off the trees as that got way too high for Drew.
Again, that was such a good shot by Hammes, but just cannot catch a break. Your outright leader, however, Paul Macbeth, 3 down through the first 6. It all started hole number 1, flirting with just about every tree in the fairway. And then ultimately says, I'm going to nestle up right next to the pin. Of course, the tap in there, hole 4, after pushing up toward the fence. Lands the solid shot about circle's edge just inside of it. Collects the birdie as he does on 6. Paul Macbeth, the only one of our 4 that has remained bogey-free, and he's in good position here on hole number 7. Get half the holes out here. That's a 9 under. If you keep it bogey-free, we're predicting 8, 9 may win this thing.
Oh, I think 9 is looking great with the starts that we've seen. Nobody's really setting it on fire compared to what we saw yesterday in the semifinal. Got some statistics coming in from Statmando confirming my suspicion that all these guys are in for a record day in terms of payout for their career. Nathan Queen, chief among them, with his biggest cash of his career at $1,600 coming into today. So if you need any more clarification for how special of a day this is for him and how big this is going to be for him moving forward.
Here's Hammes. Love the low line drive.
Nearly cashed it.
Jamie Thomas, how close was that?
Well, I'm telling you, that was real close. I've seen Drew Gibson leapfrog a basket like that before.
Well, now Drew Gibson is going to go to the backhand.
This is a very difficult backhand shot to get all the way to the pin. I'm actually a little surprised. The shot. Really understable disc. Gotta sit. Oh, and it does a little curb ride. It does go inbounds. That is very fortunate for Drew, 1, but also the lack of that longer distance sidearm for Gibson really taking him out of a chance for a close birdie opportunity. Still a long birdie opportunity there. You can see Macbeth going to go to that sidearm.
Shot sets up great for the flex if you have it. The thing to be scared of here is the corner on the right. The flex draws away from that initially and then skips back aggressively. So perfect shot shape here if he can hit it, but I don't think he can.
Whoa, Sexton, that was early and right and deep.
He did not get the line he was looking for, and that seems to have found that corner that he's looking to avoid with that exact angle.
So that just came out early. That just came out really early. We'll go look at Queen here. Wow. So, man, this is the one thing on 7. A beautiful tee shot from Queen, nice and clean, but he ends up in the one spot you really just don't want to be. He has several trees really close to his shot here.
Yeah, this is pretty stymied. Perhaps Anheuser overstable?
Does he take the thin line just to the left of his head?
It does look like he's looking that way.
That's the gutsy line that you would think the 28th seed has to take. Wow, he goes wide of it, and he jumps that last log. An impressive shot from Queen.
He is great from the standstill, and that's the mark of a woods player. He's done that a couple times already. Awkward lie, doesn't matter.
Let's take another look at what Paul McBeth and he was trying to do in his shot here. What are you guys seeing?
Just goes high up right there and just way too overstable. I think he was really just trying to draw a really overstable disc hard left and let that overstability do the work.
Yeah, just didn't have the commitment he needed there.
But Sexton, you called it perfectly. That right-hand corner coming into play. McBeth is going to be relatively deep, and I don't know if Jamie has a view of McBeth. Jamie, how deep is Paul in there? Does he have anything?
He's still rustling around right now trying to find that lie. The problem is he's got a window through the big trees. It's just the little tiny ones that could kick you off your line at any point. Walking out now to look at it.
Well, good call, Jamie. Yeah, we do see his disc there, and you know, it's just right now McBeth has to avoid a bigger mistake. He can't hit anything early. I think worst case scenario, he wants to give himself any sort of look. So somewhere in the open.
I expect he's got a pretty good chance setting up with a putt to punch out of here and find circle 1. Oh, he was looking for even maybe a little more. Gave that a good effort. Wow.
He is looking to walk away unscathed and saving the par. Some contemplation with his caddy, and he doesn't like his caddy's advice, so he's going to do his own thing. He said, I'm going to make it this way. Let's see if Drew is right. This is for birdie on 7. Drew on line.
Well, arguably, you couldn't make it either way, Drew, so it'll be a par. Queen, this is a huge putt. Just to gain that stroke back on McBeth.
And so rarely has Nathan Queen's putting let him down. Unfortunately, he doesn't convert here. He's going to have to settle for the par on hole 7. And a missed opportunity, as you just said, Nate.
On Hammis, he'll pick up his first birdie of today's round.
Just like that, Adam Hammis is going to have the honors, something that we thought might have been a little far-fetched a few moments ago, but maybe you can start to turn things around. They're going to clean out, take their pars, and tap in. And, guys, they've got a long walk to hole number 8. We'll be back with you guys in just a moment from 8's tee.
What is belief? Nathan McKinnon, at 14, he wasn't wishing he'd make it to the NHL. He believed that he would. So while other kids were playing video games, he was putting in the work to make his dream come true. Guaranteed Rate believes in your dreams. That's why we treat everyone like we treat our own family and work extra hard to get you the lowest low rate possible. Because if you believe, you will.
Hole 18 at Worlds, down by 1. It's gotta go in.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
The Combat Commander has enough space for all your discs here and everything else you need here. We beefed up the construction while keeping it lightweight and made sure there's ventilation so you can stay cool while waiting for your friends to throw because you just outdrove them. Or while you're looking for your disc in the OB. Either one.
Welcome back, everyone. Our gallery and competitors making the walk from hole 7 over to hole number 8. Paul Macbeth right now, the 1-stroke advantage over Nathan Queen, 2 over Drew Gibson. Nathan Queen maybe reflecting. Knew he could have had a share of the lead a moment ago, but he'll have plenty of opportunities as they head into the next 11 holes.
Look, that's pressure. That's the Tour Championship. That's in essence, that's sports. You know, there's a reason we don't broadcast live practice rounds. Queen would make that shot every time. Adam Hammis would never play this bad ever if this was just round 2 of some tournament. But if you're talking about, that's what we want to see. The best in the world under pressure in uncomfortable situations.
Here on hole 8 is where the course changes dramatically. We do head into a completely different part of the park, and it's relatively wooded from here to the finish.
Paul Macbeth with it. I was going to say a near perfect shot.
He got farther down the fairway than maybe he would have expected being that far inside, but he did land pretty close to a couple of trees. It's going to be a tricky stance. Now, off the tee shot, this is a tricky shot for Queen, but if he can put himself in good position, it does dial up for a nice lefty second. I think that's what he was looking for.
deal.
Guys, this weekend we had to guess just how many birdies would be collected by all of our competitors spanning the 4 days. Looks like we've had a pretty even distribution of 7, 7, and 7, so 21 thus far. How many more are we going to see, and what's that magic number going to be when it's all said and done? What's our winner going to have?
My 22's sunk.
Based off the tee shots, I think Queen's got a real shot. I think, in fact, all 4 of them do have a real shot, so it could potentially be 25. I don't see that happening. I'm going to say 23 probably is the number, but it could creep to that 24. We'll see.
Well, thank you to Birdie, the disc golf board game, over there at BodaBrothers.com. If you don't win yours today, you could certainly go to the site and pick up one of your own. You may have to purchase it instead of winning one here at the Pro Tour Championships, but we appreciate Boda Brothers and the Birdie board game. They've been supporting us all year long here on the Disc Golf Network, along with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Well, and a great off-season training game, because if it's snowy outside, you know. Either way, it's a fun game to play. Back to Queen. He is purposely a Nathan. There's no Nates in that household.
He does not like that. So good on him, letting the fans know.
Got to take advantage here. Oh, the Wolf Pack.
Please call me Birdie is more like it. Nathan Queen right next to the pin. That will be a drop-in birdie, and he's going to move to 3 under par.
And that reaction that he gave to the crowd is just so genuine. He is that guy. You know, this is the guy that hugged Drew Gibson before he made the biggest putt of his career yesterday on 18 to congratulate Drew on his made putt.
Unbelievable. All of those fans that picked Nathan Queen to win this weekend are going to be rejoicing in the streets tonight. Wait.
Chip sidearm. And a good one. So there's 23 on the birdie count.
Look, you're sunk too, Doss.
Well, I went with the Price is Right strategy.
Yeah. We're not getting any free Boda Brothers games.
Nope. Let's see if Drew can execute here. He is in great position.
Drew Gibson just past the pin. Little bank off of a tree.
Now that putt right there for Drew is going to be a big one, because that's that distance, the nerve distance that we just saw from Queen. It's a similar distance here for Gibson. Now Macbeth, like I said, tight position here. This tree right in front of him. He's going to go to the right of it.
Macbeth doesn't like it. He says he turned it over. Wow. And after being closest to the pin, he's now going to have the longest putt. But an opportunity for this guy, Nathan Queen, stepping up, throwing his second shot here on 8.
There's the Wolf Pack. I mean, it's an immediate. If he knows it's good, he throws it up. And it was good. Certainly, he's going to have a tap-in birdie. And look, through these days that we've been watching this from Thursday to now, at the moment, Nathan Queen seriously has been basically the best player. I mean, it was day one. We didn't even really see him play. It was only the final shot on 18 that we actually saw him throw, but we've seen plenty of them over the last 2 days, and man, another beauty.
McBeth giving it a solid run. That's going to go deep of the pin, and certainly frustrated as he aggressively throws his mini into his bag.
I think a great example of how 5 feet one way, 5 feet the other way for these shots in this section of the course is so crucial. McBeth kicked into those trees, and it was a much more difficult second shot versus being just 5 feet to the right. It would have been a lot easier. All right, now Gibson with that mid-range birdie putt. This is his Achilles heel for his career. He's got to step up and make these if he wants this title.
Gibson for birdie, converts. That will push Drew Gibson to 2 under for the round.
And it will take a board game right out of the grip of Nate Doss. Great putt.
And who would have guessed after that drive that Paul McBeth would be the one player in this card to not get the birdie. Nathan Queen, your new co-leader, all because of this shot.
Well, whether you're an NC State fan or not, you certainly should be a fan of Nathan Queen. This is an impressive run by the 42nd ranked player in the world, Nathan Queen.
Best finish this year, 8th at the Des Moines Challenge. His worst finish, 54th, which is quite impressive considering he is the 42nd best player according to the UDisc World Rankings. His best statistic is his scramble rate at 58%. That puts him in 25th on the Pro Tour, and his worst statistic is his circle 2 putts. I don't think he got that memo that circle 2 putts were supposed to be his worst statistic. Not when he arrived in Charlotte this weekend, because he has been putting on a show.
And look, let's update that graphic. Best finish, Tour Championship TBA.
So
to be
impressive.
decided.
Yeah.
TBD. We don't know, but best finish clearly right here, right now.
Well, and 21% for the season this week at the Tour Championship, putting in 48%, and then 86% in C1X. So, I mean, certainly picking it up on that putting statistic from the season average.
Adam Hammes, back-to-back birdies, puts him on the tee of 9.
Just crazy. After being 7 under through 9 just yesterday, Adam Hammes looking at +5 best case today. 12 shots dropped at the minimum. Just such a disappointing performance for him. Queen has been fantastic on this hole and the few others on the course that are like it. Another great shot, another C2 opportunity. And that drive puts pressure on the other players because this is not an easy gap to hit. This hole is a bogey waiting to happen if you don't hit that drive just perfect.
What a commitment from Gibson on the right side. Fantastic shot. Gotta just love to see the commitment from Drew. Just the way he really just finished that shot down that gap. Now it's Macbeth's turn.
See if that fights back for Macbeth. It's pushing to the left side. And Macbeth will have a look at birdie.
Boy, again, just like on 1 here on 9, Macbeth sneaking through the more wooded side of the hole. But look at the commitment from Drew. Just look at the way he finished and watch his disc. He did not go through the small side. He went through the gap the entire way. It's a nice shot from Drew. But see the intensity in Drew. He's picking it up.
A lot of work for Adam Hammes to do. Off the fairway on the right side. Wow, a great recovery shot by Hammes. I was wondering if he was going to have a lane end, just the right angle to be able to get all the way down to even give himself a look at the putt, and he certainly does. Looks like that may be our Hempfield recovery shot coming out of Adam Hammes, doing some work out here.
Well, and it was the thin line. You saw the way he released it. And one of the most difficult shots in disc golf, whether it's on the backhand or sidearm, is that real thin inside line. And certainly a very deserving Hempfield recovery shot.
Well, and they only use organically grown products designed to help with muscle recovery and pain relief, both of which is going to be a little bit of relief here for Adam Hammes with that shot. Hempfield Botanicals say, feel good, play better. Thank you so much for your support of the Disc Golf Network and our 2021 Disc Golf Tour.
What a battle we've got going. That drive to circle 2 from Queen put the pressure on Drew and Paul, and they both respond with circle 1 drives. Now that pressure obviously flips right back to Queen. What can he do with what was a great drive? Can he cash it in? Can he keep pace?
Yeah, and it is an elevated basket. Just changing the difficulty just enough.
Didn't get it out of the hand cleanly.
Scared of the landing.
You could hear him. He was actually scared of the follow through with that jump putt. There was several roots there that he was concerned with, affecting his commitment. Now Hammes to save the par.
So close for Hammes. It's going to result in a bogey. And Adam Hammes is going to finish the front 9 at 6 over par. Paul Macbeth for birdie on hole 9. on the pole the whole way. Never a doubt for Macbeth. He answers. Only one left out of the birdie group on hole 8. Comes back on 9. He will be your outright leader as they head into the back.
Yep, and Gibson to stay within 1.
Solid birdie for Gibson. Back-to-back on 8 and 9. He's within 1 of Macbeth. And Nathan Queen will tap in for his par. Take another look. This is your solo leader, Paul Macbeth, 4 under through the front 9. Wow. He looks dialed. Again, he is our only competitor here today in the finals that has remained bogey-free. He's had to make a few great recovery shots, I think back to hole 7, but bogey-free, looks like he's dialed.
He most certainly looks like he is dialed, and if he can continue to putt the way he is, obviously we got to call him the favorite. He's leading at this point. Gibson and Queen, it's going to take a continual, just got to keep hitting those fairways, got to give yourself opportunities.
Well, and I was going to follow that up and ask you, Nate, Paul Macbeth has made some of the most highly pressure-packed putts and shots in our sport's history. Is that going to be his advantage when they're coming down the stretch? 16, 17, 18. Is that going to be all in his advantage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the front 9 taught us only one thing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The only thing we know is Adam Hammis is $8,000 richer today. Other than that, these guys are battling. Like I don't see a strong, clear favorite. Just Adam has dropped off, unfortunately. Everybody else still in it to win it.
Operations is the players first, then their caddies, then the media, then the crowd control, and then the spectators. So thank you guys.
This is actually important as we are heading into the woods. There's a lot of fans out here. There's several levels of tickets sold.
Nathan.
And our leader, Jeff Spring, just informing everybody of the order of operations.
Making sure that all of our players have plenty of room. Of course, them and the caddies. Making sure we are ready to go. We are heading into the last 9 holes of highly competitive professional disc golf here in 2021 with $30,000 first place prize on the line.
Early tree, big kick.
Way up there, though. Not great, but man, maybe far enough up the fairway to make the save a little easier, or maybe a lot easier.
Another tree hit there, a little bit outside the line he was hoping for.
Nathan Queen, 3rd to throw.
Huge opportunity.
Yes. Queen did birdie this hole yesterday as well as Friday.
Got Drew and Paul off the fairway, bogey in play for both of them, I think. Can Queen step up and put this close?
Oh, this looks great for Nathan Queen.
He was a late tree kick away from being within 5 feet. It'll be a tricky putt for Queen, but makeable.
And deep of the basket for Adam Hammis off on the right-hand side. He'll be out in circle 2. Trying to scrape together a few birdies here so he can close out the tournament.
Watch the intensity of Queen. Full commitment up the hill on 10. He likes it.
Well, what we like is all of you joining us here on the Disc Golf Network. Thank you so much for your support and your viewership here in the 2021 season. Already looking ahead to 2022. By the time we are done in 2 weeks giving you the NADGT finals, we will have had 30 live broadcasts right here on the Disc Golf Network. Join, subscribe, be part of it. Of course, we're partnered with the PDGA. If you're a PDGA member, you get the subscription at half price, and we are going to have plenty of off-season content. And even as I mention off-season, I think, well, there's not much of it because we're going to be coming right back to you guys end of January, early February, sometime in that time frame with more live disc golf and carry you throughout the 2022 season. So excited for you to be here, and thank you for support on the Disc Golf Network and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Macbeth seems to have a window.
Very well done.
And really the recovery shot he needed there. That's about the best he could have done.
Definitely. Can Drew match it? He's on the edge here. He's a little farther up the fairway. I think I can see the basket. Straight ahead of him. He's going to go Anheuser out around. Nicely done.
Also inside the circle for Gibson. Hole 10 at 345 feet certainly sets up for enough danger, enough challenge. I feel like a birdie here is almost a little bit of a bonus even. Is that possible, Sexton?
Like I've been saying, man, they all kind of feel bonus. There just aren't easy holes on this course, and it's a good design for this kind of format and for the best players in the world because you've got to throw a quality shot on all of these holes to have any kind of look. There's just so many trees. Chance to get back into it here for Queen.
Nope. Come on, Nathan.
He's been close on some putts.
Head up, buddy.
Going to need to find his stroke again, make the adjustment, because he's got to take those opportunities.
And they may not come along often here, so as you're saying, you need them when they present themselves.
Yeah, the thing for Queen is he cannot let missed putts trickle into the tee shots. The key for him is to be giving himself those opportunities. Yes, some of them are going to have to fall, but can't let that thought trickle to the tee. And now Hammis back on the horse and just a little high.
And that looked good out of his hands. I'm surprised to see that not fall in for him.
I really just feel like it's this format. There's no tomorrow. So his heart is not in this. And who could blame him? You know, he's going to try to do his best and put on a show for the fans, but ultimately it doesn't matter at all if he makes these putts or not. And that's a hard time to really focus yourself up and give people your best stuff.
This is Drew Gibson to save par here on 10. Cashes it. Solid putt for Gibson. Just about 27 feet. Macbeth answers with a par of his own. Also a great recovery, and he's not losing ground. He's not seeing Drew Gibson, or more specifically Nathan Queen, come up and take advantage of the opportunity. So Queen will be tapping in. He will remain at 3 under. Gibson at 3 under. Paul Macbeth at 4. Just a few holes left, everyone. We're here for the Tour Championships. Don't go anywhere. We've got the exciting conclusion on the other side of this commercial break.
In this game, preparation is everything. It gives you that edge to become something from nothing. Success is not by accident. Because you know, the course plays no favorites. You know what it takes to be the best. In this game, detail matters. Idio Sports.
Alpacas. They are fluffy.
Just kidding. This is the real commercial. Let's go. Are you new to disc golf? Maybe you already play disc but are looking to support a new company. Maybe you hate everything about it but just like spending money. If you answered yes to any of those questions, allow me to introduce DGA Disc Golf. Now, DGA is a startup of sorts, meaning that our founder, Steady Ed Hedrick, started up the sport back in 1976. You're freaking welcome. Now, don't feel bad if you don't own one of our amazing baskets or discs yet. We certainly wouldn't want to try and manipulate you into buying something, but you would if you were a good person.
Drew? I had a 3, please, and so to Macbeth. You please go to the bathroom.
Welcome back
Thank you.
to the tee of the very difficult par 4 11th. Gibson and Hammis just having a nice casual chat here Sunday afternoon. It's not like there's $30,000 on the line or anything.
Drew Gibson on the tee of 11. And the faint cheering and claps off in the distance for Drew Gibson here on this tunnel shot of 11.
Yeah, you could just hear a late tree kick.
Got to think the reaction was decent, though, based on the applause, and it did get a significant carry down the fairway before hitting the tree.
Yeah, it was probably some local going, oh, I've birdied from there.
Here's Paul Macbeth with the tee of 11.
It's turning quick.
Oh, and it takes the forward kick for Macbeth. He is now in the middle.
And like we've been saying, that right side probably best if you could draw it up. You know, he's going to like that spot. Should be a fairly straightforward shot for him.
Another laser beam from Queen. Let's see how it finishes. Very nicely.
Beautiful shot. Queen right now could really use a park job for a birdie. I feel like he's missed a couple opportunities. He's starting to frustration and doubt maybe creep in on him a little bit with the putt on 7 and the putt on 10. A park job would be just what he needs to kind of get back focused and confident. Ooh.
Well, and let's put it this way for Queen. If we're watching Queen, had Queen made every putt he's looked at, he'd have a 2-shot lead at the moment. He has missed 3 of the last 4 putts. But to be more, honest, had he made most of the putts throughout the season, he wouldn't have been a 28th seed.
Sure.
This guy is good off the tee. He has to continue to give himself opportunities. And eventually, if you want to win, some of them are going to have to drop. I mean, that's just the harsh reality of winning any tournament for that matter.
Very quickly, we see Adam Hammes go over to his line. He pitches back out to the fairway. Best case scenario for Hammes at this point would be to take the par. And as Adam is getting into position, we've got Jamie Thomas out there in the fairway. Jamie, can you give us an assessment of where the other drives are as Adam's coming up the fairway?
Yeah, Nathan Queen's about perfect, guys. You called it out. He's just going to have a nice little, probably backhand turnover into a decently wide open green. He's the best of the bunch.
As I said, at best case scenario, Adam Hammes can save par, and he'll have a circle 2 putt to do just that. Flying over, taking a look at the beautiful setting out here at Hornet's Nest, seeing Paul McBeth out in front by a single stroke over this man, Drew Gibson.
Now, we did hear the couple of claps for this shot of Gibson. Now, look, he's at the edge here. He is well back the fairway, but the line is there for him. It's just a long ways back.
Yeah, and these fans, I mean, these are North Carolina players. They know the difference between a kick that falls on the edge and a kick that goes to the woods. So some claps appropriate here because he's in with a chance.
There's that gap. Yes, for Gibson. Okay, it's a long ways out, but man, again, I just think for this back 9, opportunities are going to be key. Because if you just give yourself opportunities, then it's a simple fact of whoever makes the most putts wins. Now both McBeth and Queen, they're going to have to move up the fairway. Beautiful fall afternoon, early fall afternoon here in North Carolina, mid-60s. About 15 degrees cooler than we've seen on the previous 3 days.
See if Nathan Queen can take advantage of this incredible tee shot here on 11.
Quick. Played that one quick.
It looks to be inside C1. Should be manageable.
Take another look at it. It's the standstill turnover shot. And he's going to need that putt. Now Paul McBeth. Macbeth hanging it higher and wider than what we just saw from Queen, but almost an identical result. Just a little bit closer, though.
Yep, sliding just a few feet farther past.
Some more interesting stats coming in from Statmando to put Queen's run in perspective. Macbeth and Queen have played 17 events together in 2021. Not only has Paul won all of them, but on an average, he has beaten Queen by 4.17 strokes per round over 58 rounds of golf. Over 4 shots per round. So that puts into perspective how special the level of play Queen has been able to find here is.
Well, Nathan Queen's hoping to play different here this weekend because Paul has had his number all year long. And if Nathan steps up and continues what he's been doing, that would certainly flip the script, alter what we've seen throughout the year, playing different. So Nathan Queen doing some work along with his biggest competitor in Paul Macbeth right now. Thank you to Upper Park for your support in the 2021 season. And there it is, Adam Hammis with the most unlikely of par saves after that tee shot. So much credit to him for fighting through that one.
There you go, Big Sledge. I was playing a tournament with Adam. I tried to nickname him Hammer. He said, no, my dad's the Hammer. So I said, how about Big Sledge? And he said, I'm good with that.
Now Gibson from deep in the fairway gave himself an opportunity.
Gibson doesn't convert. That's going to be a par, which will keep him at 3 under. And in a moment, Drew Gibson can find himself in outright 3rd place. If we see both Queen, if we see Queen convert, that is.
This feels pretty must-make to me for Queen. Can't let this thing get out of hand.
Yeah, and I think more importantly, just from a confidence standpoint, not so much from the score.
Yes.
Just that feeling of watching one go in for birdie. Again, he has missed 3 of the last 4 birdie chances on the last 4 holes.
There it is, Nathan Queen showing why he's here in the finals. A little love back to the crowd. Picking up the birdie here on 11.
And just think, Queen has given himself birdie opportunities in the last 5 holes. I mean, that's impressive stuff. Yeah, he picked up 2 of the 3, or 2 of the 5. That's not the worst percentage in the world. Macbeth for birdie.
And for Queen, obviously, you know, a round like this, there's going to be ups and downs. He's that to me, that shows he's weathering the storm. He's not taking bogeys. But when he has had mistakes, it's been pars, and he's able now to put that in, breathe a sigh of relief, say, okay, here we go, let's battle again. I'm back on my horse, I'm ready to go.
Take another look at it. Nathan Queen, a big-time putt. It's going to keep him within 1 of Macbeth, and more so, it's going to pull him 1 away from Drew Gibson.
And it just feels to me, you know Macbeth is parked and making it as Queen lines that up. So if you miss in that situation, the blow to your confidence, like we're talking about, that just feels bigger than the 27 feet that it was for Nathan Queen and his chances today.
And we will move over to hole number 12. This is the view from above. And guys, through the first 3 days, only 1 person per day has taken birdie here on number 12. It is a long par 4, 819 feet. And with those 3 players on each individual day, not one of them has been any one of our 4 finalists. So, you know, it's been a difficult hole. It hasn't been birdied as much as we've seen almost any other hole be birdied throughout the week. We'll see. I mean, this is an opportunity. Queen doesn't have that big distance. That said, that left-handed approach into this pin can be an advantage for him.
Some of the fans taking in the action out here.
Well, Queen Germ from the Queen City of Charlotte. Big Germ Jeremy Colling, of course.
The practice round prince. He's got his merge table set up somewhere around here. You know that much.
Yeah. He's one marriage or one death, I guess, away from being a king.
Yeah, practice round king. But I'm feeling pretty healthy.
I like it. I like it.
Macbeth talking about the adjustment he wants to make from yesterday. Said not quite as windy. He doesn't want to flip it as he did yesterday.
Will he make the over adjustment and be a little too far left? I don't think so.
That is perfect.
It's not as much distance as we've seen from the likes of Gibson, but still right in the middle of the fairway and a good chance.
I think if you're Queen here, you need to play this smart. You don't need to match Drew and Paul in this hole.
Agreed. Just don't do this.
That's pushing over to the. It looked like it maybe bounced out at the last moment, so it's not buried too deep, but could spell disaster if Queen has a difficult run up.
I think par still very much in play, even with a difficult run-up. To pitch down to the mouth of that tunnel and then go in, I think par a great result for him on this specific hole. And we have liftoff.
Uh-oh, be careful.
Yeah, this is left.
That is trouble. Adam Ham is 4th to tee here on hole number 12. That's also pushing off to the left side, but it's going to be on the edge. We're going to take another look at Paul Macbeth and the shot and the adjustment that he made from yesterday. He talked about how the wind was a factor, flipping his disc over, and as that's finding the center of the fairway, I want to find Jamie Thomas. Jamie, we saw you walking over to where Drew Gibson was landing. What did you see, and how much trouble is he in over there?
Oh, well, hi there, guys. Yeah, I just went over to check. He's only about 10, 12 feet off the fairway, but he's got a small gap. He may even have to go down to a knee. I actually think Nathan Queen might have a better lie, though he is a bit further back.
All right, thank you, Jamie, as we're flying the hole and taking a look at it. Really just trying to get anywhere up to this area. Now, here's the tunnel that you're trying to funnel all the way down into.
You can see why it's such a power player's hole, because this tunnel is pretty long. It's not like you just throw a forehand hyzer and reach this basket. So the farther up the fairway you can push, the more you straighten out the second shot and you make that bend possible. From a short position, you're not going to be able to throw like an actual L-shaped shot where you're getting it up in the air and then moving it right hundreds of feet down a tunnel. You really need that big booming drive to set up something that's kind of more of a manageable turnover or forehand. I think Paul Macbeth has done that, and I think he's the only one that's done that.
Yeah, most certainly. I think you called it out right for Queen. Getting down to the mouth of the second half of the fairway is going to be a perfect shot for him. It will be interesting to see how far Macbeth got down there. He did play it as more of a controlled tee shot, I think 80-ish feet short of where we've seen some of our bigger drives over the first 3 days. And it still will not be an easy shot for Macbeth. There's a reason why we've only seen 3 birdies total.
Yeah, not an easy shot by any means, but certainly a shot that he will attempt to put in circle 1. He's
Absolutely.
got a workable turnover mid-range. The wind picking up a little.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well.
And just a moment ago, you hear Nathan Queen say, "Where'd this come from?"
We
Meaning the
Nathans,
wind.
we Nathans don't like a surprise wind. You saw us all 3 of us perked up at the same time.
Could hear Yuli respond to it. Said another great shot, and yes, it was.
That's fantastic. That was tougher than I thought it was going to be. He had to go with the forced over Anheuser into a flex, and he hit the weight on it perfect. He's going to have a simple play to the basket for his par.
Yeah, that's a 9 times out of 10 up and down for Nathan Queen. Alongside Rebecca Cox. Out there for support. This is Hammis. So kind of give you the idea of the shot Macbeth's going to have.
That's why this is so tough. You heard everybody in the gallery going, "I love it, great shot," and it still isn't enough to hit this tunnel and fade all the way.
The overview drone shot yet again. This swath here, this open area, comes into play a number of times. It's played during hole 18. It's also played, obviously, here on 12, but then they're crossing it on 15 as well. Or correction, 16, well, 15 and 16. On 15 is the gauntlet hole where you go across it one way, and then on the very next hole, you cross it again on 16.
Now, as Jamie Thomas mentioned, tough shot here for Drew. He's got Ulibarri in there with him. You know, will Drew try to get... I just don't think he has it, though. He just can't get a lot of power on it.
I think in reality it's an easy shot, but it isn't a birdie shot. I think he's got a pretty easy shot to play for par.
Yes.
But he's got nothing to go to the pin.
Yeah, and he is just playing it for safety.
It's the kind of easy shot you don't want to have, but when you throw in the rough, that's often your only option.
I cannot help to think that these trees that are out here in the fairway to the left of Macbeth right now, in about 6 or 7 years, this hole is going to be impossible. I mean, they're going to grow right up into the way, aren't they?
Well, and we're seeing 308 feet to the pin.
And
thanks
look
to
at
our friends over at Bushnell.
I mean, look at the opportunity in front of him. This to go too clear. Little tight to the corner.
No, and a big kick as well.
Jamie, can you tell exactly where that kicked? We heard it, but we couldn't see which way it ricocheted.
Yeah, that one kicked high up and to the left. That might be a forehand special coming up, guys. That's not going to be an easy par save. It'll be a quality scramble from there.
This is a fantastic view. He knew he just needed to miss that one tree. You can see it right there on the corner, and it did kick left.
Wow.
And oh boy, it went maybe around that corner.
Wow. How quickly fortunes turn out here. Because, yeah, advantage now to Gibson and Queen.
You can now see from the drone shot, Macbeth hitting, you just quite can't see the tree. But as he kicked left, this is the entryway kind of here in the center part of your screen. And the angle could become almost impossible. In disc golf, there's no such thing as impossible, but could just become one of those ones where if you don't have the angle, you just can't get the disc to fly that way.
And look at the body language from Macbeth. I would say he does not have the angle. Just looking at how he's pacing around.
Right, because now look at this view from behind, and he's a little bit closer to the woods right there.
Wow.
This is a perpendicular shot, Sexton. He's going to try to go to the roller.
Through this tight window, perhaps.
Queen watching on intently.
To have the right amount of angle.
It's tight.
Yeah, it is. He needed to stand that up a little bit straighter. It hit the ground with too much angle and immediately rolled out. And I'm not sure he's even going to have a look from there.
That is just crazy. From what looked like Macbeth's chance to kind of seize control of this Tour Championship to now looking very likely he's going to lose a shot and the lead, or at least the solo lead.
That's a good par right there. Yes, it is.
Yep, you can hear him say it. That is a good par. Now Gibson the same.
And Gibson also will be thinking that's a good par right there, all things considered.
That for Macbeth was basically worst case scenario. He did try to take it in a little tighter and a little bit lower versus that high swooping turnover that we saw from Matt Oram yesterday, who was the only birdie on this hole. Yeah, Terry, I think you're right. It would be a miracle putt if he was able to save par there, huh?
What those statistics tell me is this basket potentially a little too far down this tunnel.
And Hamas almost converts from long range here on 12.
Could be something where even just 25 feet closer to the grassy field area could make a big scoring difference. Turn those C2 looks into C1 looks. But then again, nothing wrong with a really hard hole either.
Now we are seeing Macbeth.
Oh, and he's looking almost what appears to be straight. Is that a high, lofty putt? He's got bushes directly in front of him.
Yeah, he's got almost nothing here.
Look, I've been doing this commentary thing for almost 3 years now. Every time I go, man, he's just got to pitch this one out, it like somehow goes and hits the basket.
Oh, I'm not saying he might not make it, but
I'm saying I'm not going to go that far.
I've definitely seen him make putts where he had nothing.
Yes.
Probably 100 times.
All right.
He's going to go try to loft this way up high.
Yep.
Paul Macbeth to save par.
Great effort.
Well, and a missed opportunity for Macbeth.
Yeah, more than just that. You know, in the end, it's a bogey after a great drive.
And this would be Paul's first bogey of the day, coming in the most unlikely of spots after having the drive he did.
Yeah.
No problems for Gibson. Adam is in for his par. And Nathan also in for the par. I think back to hole number 8 where Paul Macbeth gave up a stroke to everyone else on the card, and that's exactly what he's done here on 12.
From the best drive in both cases.
Yeah, both scenarios, exactly. Take another look at his second shot. He wants it to get off of the tree. It hits. You see the crowd react as well.
He'll be frustrated, but at the end of the day, Macbeth's loss is our gain as fans to tighten this thing up even further with just a few holes left to play. We've got a tie.
Yes, it's a tie between three guys. One guy out of the first round in Queen, one guy out of the quarters in Gibson, and one guy out of the semis in Macbeth. And as we move over to 13, Nathan Queen has played 13 3 times. He has only gotten par on the hole. He has not taken a birdie. He's not taken a bogey. Gibson's played it twice. Gibson's birdied it both times. Macbeth played it once. He has birdied it as well. Advantage Gibson and Macbeth here versus Queen based on our statistics.
Yeah, especially Gibson. If you remember yesterday, he threw that slower disc and brought it in just feathery soft, while Macbeth had to make a big putt. See if Gibson can repeat that.
This one's tough.
And some statistics coming in that Nathan Queen was the only player to not be picked to take this weekend down. So talk about upsets and breaking literally every single bracket out there. Nathan Queen picked by no one to win this championship.
That'll never happen again.
It certainly won't.
.419 feet here on number 13.
Tricky shape. I think a little easier for the right-hand forehand if you're going to go counterclockwise spin, because you can come out on that chopped over ante a little bit more consistently. For the backhand, that's a tougher shot. Not impossible, just tough. That's great.
Short on that left side of the fairway. He's about pin high. It's just going to be a matter of the look that he has at the pin, but he got all of the distance to get there.
Well, you love the uphill putt on this green.
Gibson holding, waiting for it to come to rest. It doesn't sound like it hit anything, but I also didn't see it come into my frame.
Well, the tricky thing for that backhand shot is that he does have to kind of ride that right side, and I think just catching one of the bigger trees.
Yep, UDisc has him on the fairway, so not up to into circle 2 just yet.
Hammis, he'll kick back into the middle of the fairway as well. A little bit of a roll. Now Macbeth. After the bogey, can he get back on track?
Wow, Paul Macbeth just about circles edge, trying to bounce back from the bogey on 12. Let's take another look at that. Putting plenty of hyzer on it, just waiting for it to flip up a little bit, to ride flat. We'll see if it comes in. Great speed, and kicks off the tree and continues forward. Paul Macbeth trying to become the outright leader again. He could maybe do so with a birdie here on 13. Let's take a look, guys, at how they got here. You talked about what Paul Macbeth did in the semifinals. He had the second best score. Adam Hammis also had his way all the way to the semis. He had the best round yesterday. Today, unfortunately, a very different story.
Great shot.
We'll find out where Gibson landed. Wow, Drew actually got a little bit of distance there. It looks like he will be able to run this. This is a tricky green. from this angle, you see that slope on the left. It does slope away the entire way. It's got to be careful on speed on the left side.
Whoa! Drew Gibson from way downtown. Drew Gibson.
Outside C2.
And think, back on hole number 3, we saw Drew put one in from long range. He hesitated for a moment, then starting running it down. This time, he waited. He didn't even think he had it. It finds the bottom of the basket, and Drew Gibson cans it.
72-footer on the treacherous green when he had to keep pace. 2 guys in circle 1. Are you kidding me?
Paul McBeth for birdie on 13. McBeth answers. He will move to 5 under par. Momentarily your outright leader.
And more importantly, a nice bounce back for McBeth. So he did get the bogey, but follows it up with the birdie. And then Sexton, as you said, an uphill birdie putt for Queen. He has been short on the ones he's missed. He's got to get it up and in.
Queen, weak side, brings it in. You hear the deep breaths he takes just before putting. He loves the basket. It loves him. And 3 birdies out of McBeth, Gibson, and Queen. They are all fighting for it. Queen and McBeth knotted up at 5 under.
And the most impressive one is from that man, Nathan Queen, because he's played it 4 times and he hadn't birdied it yet. Steps up and makes a big one. The guy who's birdied it both times he's played it is Gibson, and now make it 3-4-3. What a distance putt from Gibson. He has been making some bombs throughout this championship.
And the reaction. The double fist pump.
Man, I'd do a triple if I could.
Well, I was thinking that's emulating the wings he needs to hop on a plane and then run that one down. It was from so deep. Drew Gibson, huge birdie. And all of that to just remain 1 back of our 2 leaders.
This is some gold, guys. This is some gold. We're going to head over to hole number 14. Boy, guys, we just have 5 holes left in this championship. 3 guys all within 1 shot. Man,
I don't know if we could draw it up any better. You said before we started this show, Nate, you said, whoever wins, I hope it's not a runaway. Well, it certainly isn't at this point. We have 3 guys right there, all within a stroke of one another. What a battle we're seeing here on Championship Sunday for the largest purse in PDGA history.
I'm content. I want more. But man, this is incredible action right now. That putt from Drew, unbelievable. To stay within 1 from that far back. And he knew that they're both parked, essentially, as far as he's concerned. So unbelievable to hit that and to stay in contact.
Well, the stakes are so high. We're going to take a look at exactly, again, what they're playing for. $30,000 for first, $15,000 for second, $10,000 for third, and $8,000 going to our last competitor. I don't know where the odds are in Vegas or what your picks might be, but right now I think you can throw them all out the window because McBeth, Queen, and Gibson are putting on a show.
Guys, hole 14. 415 feet. It's a tricky par 3 down this corridor of woods, finishing to the right. Days 1 and 2, Queen birdied this hole. Gibson birdied it on day 2.
Nathan Queen on the tee of 14.
He did it again. Fade.
Check the distance. And a late tree kick.
That's C1.
It is C1. That late tree kick going to make it just a little bit more difficult. And for the second time this round, a late tree kick is going to keep Queen from being within 10 feet and out about 25 feet.
Drew Gibson, tee shot, hole 14.
Gibson birdied it day 2.
Yep.
He loves it. A little short.
Yep, that's that 60-foot range. We saw a couple of shots from there yesterday. Still makeable. Obviously, Drew just made a 70-plus foot putt on the previous hole.
I like this too. It's flipping up, turning over, following the same line as Gibson's. Stays clean and right at circle's edge for Paul Macbeth. Says it must have hit something late in the flight to prevent it skipping even closer. Gotta love the forehand line. Just as I say it, the commentator Kerr steps in and comes out and knocks over Adam Hammes' shot. Nate, what are they trying to do here on 14?
They're trying to hit this gap, and I don't understand how all of them are hitting it almost every time. So far, every coverage we've done of this hole, this is not easy at all. We're talking about 400 feet of tunnel, and these guys are getting that flip up just right, whether it's the lefty of Nathan Queen drawing it left and finishing back with the driver, or the slower discs from the right-handers, Gibson and Macbeth, trying to get the late turn. All of them are just executing despite this heavy pressure. It's so impressive. When Queen steps up and goes circle one, in my head I'm thinking one of these guys is not going to gap this. I was wrong. They just keep on going.
Yes, and as the crowd gives a little cheer to our competitors, Gibson will clearly have the most difficult putt of the two. And then, you know, we saw Queen get inside the circle and Macbeth right near the edge.
It's exactly the same situation as the last hole.
It really is. I think the challenge for Drew will be is that on that right side there are a couple of big trees. You can kind of see here what Hammes is dealing with. Gibson is closer, but several trees to contend with.
Punch out by Hammes, which the crowd approves of. Adam had to stop the bleeding 4 holes ago by picking up a number of pars. We will see him finishing in that 4th place position, still taking home $8,000 for his efforts, which will be his largest payout to date.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. Commendable attitude from him, too, for a young man with championship aspirations.
I really like what Adam has been able to do. From an attitude standpoint, I should reiterate that. All right, Gibson, wow, so much more difficult than the last one.
He likes it, and he
No
cans
way!
it to Gibson. Unbelievable what we are seeing. Drew Gibson.
A moment ago, Jamie Thomas was telling us that when Gibson stepped up to the putt on 13, it seemed like he knew it was going in. On 14, that was exponentially more difficult, and he nailed it. pressure right back on Macbeth from edge of circle.
Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. That's 78 through the trees. Oh my word.
Paul stepping up. He is currently tied with Gibson. This is to take the lead again.
Advantage Nathan Queen. This is Nathan Queen's opportunity to take a lead with 4 holes to play in the Tour Championship.
Driver's seat on the line right here.
Nathan Queen.
Another one falls in.
He shrugs. How does it go in? He doesn't care. Nathan Queen, your leader through 14 holes at the Tour Championships.
I mean, he hugged the top of the basket. He should be hugging the basket itself. That's all he needed for that birdie. And boys, we are in for something. 4 holes left. Oh my God, look at this from Drew Gibson. That big tree late is the one he had to miss. And boy, he had to miss it perfectly to make this one in the heart, and he just does.
This should not be possible to make those 2 putts with these stakes. I need next year, if I'm doing this job, I need a wireless microphone so I can walk around a little bit. This is a little bit too much to have me tethered to my seat.
Oh, man. And Gibson just ran it in, too. Didn't even stop after he released it. Now Nathan Queen, a couple of big, deep breaths. The lead on the line. Watch his eyes. He had to think it might have missed. Oh, it's in the basket.
I'll take it, folks. I will take the lead through 14 holes at the Tour Championships. The hug, the smile, the cheers, everything looking good for our Cinderella story, Nathan Queen. The 28th seed is leading the tournament with just 4 holes left to play.
Guys, he went 6 under in the first round, 6 under in the quarters, 7 under yesterday, and he's 6 under again.
Gauntlet time.
It is the gauntlet. One of the signature holes here. Got to get through it. Clean is the key.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, and he misses the late tree. This is unbelievable. Impressive from Queen.
15 feet.
Up there for the putt on 15. Squarely putting the pressure on the rest of the field.
In round 1, Queen did birdie this hole from 49 feet. Gibson made a birdie putt on this hole from 39 feet. Both know what it takes to birdie it.
That's left. It hits one of the corridor trees on the left side. Nathan Queen in the driver's seat again.
Drew Gibson's not making that one.
But key for Gibson, it did get through, and he will have a chance to get up and down.
He's going to need to. That's a good kick. You are right.
All right, back to the beast.
Oh, my gosh. Did that... No, it stopped. Queen's going to have a 2-shot lead.
Adam Hammes now with the tee, shot on 15. Adam just playing for highlights at this point. That's going to be off and on the right side. We're going to take another look at Nathan Queen in what might be the most important tee shot of the round.
It was right at this moment I'm going, is he going to miss this last tree? And he does. He skips up and past it and slides it. Ah, man, 15, 18 feet tops. And the other two scrambling. Macbeth, Gibson, we saw where it landed. I'm not quite sure where Macbeth went.
It's 3 holes in a row for Nathan Queen on the tee box, applying the pressure, finding C1. These guys have responded. Now here on the gauntlet, they didn't have it. And now Queen with the opportunity to take a commanding lead into the last 3 holes of the championship.
And there you have it, that aerial showing you hole 18. We'll be there in a little while, but Drew Gibson has work to do here on the gauntlet. Even the longest of putts can't save him here.
But a good upshot can.
Yep.
A late tree kick, but it did stay close.
I think that tree kick didn't do much to him. It looked like it was going to carry long.
And no.
This is worst case scenario for Paul Macbeth. The angle that he has to the basket, wow, is almost none. To the left there, well, just on the right side of your screens at home, that's the tee pad of number 16. So there's several banners there that will come into play for Macbeth. They're going to clear the crowd out. I mean, this is going to take every bit of one of the greatest players of all time skill to be able to control it out this gap and get it back into the area of the basket.
Yeah, I guess the real question is he going to be looking just to pitch up so that he can save the par with a long putt? Is there any way he can find the basket from here, or is this just going to be a position shot? We're going to have to see what he's got lined up right here. Paul Macbeth's going to need to give himself at least a look at saving par here.
Clean.
There it is.
Yes, it's clean. And both Macbeth and Gibson will have similar length putts before Queen attempts his birdie look. Really, that was a great shot for Macbeth. He did have those banners in his way. He went with the high shot, and he controlled the angle beautifully. Oh, my goodness.
So much drama, so much on the line. They played all year long to arrive at this point. Our Disc Golf Pro Tour Tour Championships presented by Guaranteed Rate. $30,000 on the line for first. Adam Hammes has an outside chance at a birdie look.
Man, Queen mentioned it, that he, in his interview, how he was getting these cheers that were louder than everybody else. You only got to think that this crowd is almost going to not be able to contain themselves if this continues down this path.
This putt is huge.
Paul Macbeth to save par.
And that's the disc of Queen, just by Macbeth's right knee.
Saves it. Macbeth, the par, after the kick on the gauntlet, gets up and down and saves the par. The question is, does he move to 16 with a 1 or a 2-stroke deficit?
Well, and now, same statement Nate Sexton just said. Goes for Drew.
I almost feel like this is to stay in the conversation. A bogey here for him. He was already back.
Drew Gibson. Too firm. Looks like he may or may not have been battling the sunshine that was coming in on him, but that one was just too much power. So after Gibson puts in a pair of long putts, he can't convert on the shorter one, and he is going to be down possibly 2 to
possibly
this man.
3. This is to go 2 ahead of Macbeth and 3 ahead of Gibson with 3 holes to play.
This is just something we have not seen Queen do. He's just confirming the basket. All right. Back to his routine.
Nathan Queen to extend his lead.
Yes.
Count it.
Wow.
All right, guys. I'm gonna keep it going here. We're gonna head over to the tee of number 16. And again, Nathan Queen has played 16 twice. Or excuse me, he's played it 3 times. He's birdied it twice. Queen with the big advantage on 16, if history tells us anything. But let's go ahead and take a look at Nathan Queen over the last several holes. Birdies.
13, cashes it in. Weak side, doesn't matter. It's in the bottom.
Do you remember the run when he played 5 holes and he only got 2 birdies? Well, he's played the last 5 holes with 4 birdies. An impressive run from Nathan Queen on one of the more difficult portions of this disc golf course. And Sexton, I think you've said it perfectly. He's done it from the top of the box. And that's the thing that he's continued to do, is put pressure on the fellow competitors of his. Nathan Queen yesterday, coming down the stretch in the semifinals, was able to pick up a birdie on 16, and it was a park job birdie.
He's been fantastic on 16. But this is a different, like, you couldn't blame him for having almost an out-of-body type feeling right now as he's throwing this shot. Can he stay centered? Can he close the deal here? It's any birdie from this point forward for Queen is a dagger to the hopes of Macbeth or Gibson.
And while he has birdied it twice, no easy shot for the left or right-handed player. Completely blind.
It looks good. Can it fade? Can it fade?
This is the big tree there. Look at this, guys.
My God.
Queen parked on hole 16.
That's a no-pressure tap-in.
Unbelievable, and the crowd has no clue how close it is. He is in tap-in range. Nathan Queen.
Macbeth bogeyed this hole yesterday. They have to get it there now.
Dude, that is a ridiculous shot.
That's in the corner. I don't think it flew through it. I don't think he's got much of a putt.
Yeah, and you could see what he wanted. He knew he just needed about 10, 15 feet more down that fairway. So Macbeth caught in the corner. Hammis.
I mean, you would think almost regardless what happens now, Queen will be up 3 with 2 to play. Pars could be enough.
Yes. Now Gibson to stay in it.
That filters, but certainly not anywhere as close as Nathan Queen. We're going to take another look at the tee shot. He normally collects himself, takes 1 deep breath. This time it was 2, and he steps up and delivers this tee shot. Nathan Queen skipping right next to the pin on the edge of the wood chips. A tap-in birdie for Queen.
And again, completely blind. Not only did he park this, but this was the best shot he has thrown. Missing that big corner tree, and he knew it. He knew if he missed that corner tree, it was going to be a good one, and he has no clue how good it is. He won't find out until he steps over this red, and he
just saw it.
Just saw it. Terry, he just saw it, and the fist pump tells you everything.
He has to calm himself down. He is riding on nothing but pure adrenaline and excitement. Stay calm, Nathan. You can ride this home.
This is one of the most amazing performances we've seen in the history of disc golf. This guy, in 2021, on the best season of his career, he's won $18,000 thus far. This is the best season of his career. And we're talking about a chance to add 30,000 more for the 42nd ranked player in the world to go toe to toe against everybody and bring it like this day after day after day. I can't remember the last time we've seen anything like this, if we ever have.
I think the comparisons were brought up with Chris Dickerson being a higher seed in this tournament, did make it to the championship, raised the trophy after playing in round number 1. The difference there is that at that moment, Dickerson was actually the defending champion of the Tour Championship and a much more accredited player than Nathan Queen.
Drew Gibson's going to need long-range miracle again for any chance at continuing this battle with Nathan Queen. Gibson for birdie. What? Unreal! Drew Gibson, another miracle from deep.
And look at who's going to be there first to congratulate him. Nathan Queen.
Drew Gibson. Adam has to follow that up. Drew, I've got words of advice. Throw it to only about 50 feet away, maybe 70 feet away.
50's too close.
Don't get it too close like you did on 17. Correction, back on 15.
I don't think in my whole career I've ever seen anyone make 3 outside circle 2 in a 4-hole stretch. Ever.
Frustrated Macbeth is going to scoop up. He is now tied with Gibson.
Listen to the crowd right now.
Nathan Queen, 4 birdies in a row. He is just 2 holes away from taking down the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship.
And let's go ahead as we're going to see this putt from Drew Gibson again. 140 feet on back-to-back holes of putts made, and go ahead and add another 65 to that because Drew Gibson's saying, I don't know what to do. And now the players quickly head over to the 17th tee pad. Guys, back on day 1, Nathan Queen, who was leading big in that round, double bogeyed hole number 17. When the pressure came, he did make a double bogey there. Yesterday, Queen playing this hole for par. Drew Gibson forced to make a massive bogey putt to stay in it here on 17, and Macbeth did birdie this hole yesterday. So Nate Sexton, what do these players need to do to get through hole number 17?
It all hinges on the drive of Queen. If Queen plays to the fairway, Gibson and Macbeth need to play for eagle, in my opinion. Then they have to push all the way up the fairway with a distance driver. They've proven they're capable of that. We saw Macbeth get to an eagle opportunity position just yesterday. But everything rides on the drive of Nathan Queen. If he finds the fairway here, the pressure on Drew and Paul is incredible. Here it is. No. Not terrible, I don't think, but not fairway. I still feel these guys maybe need to be thinking about pushing into eagle territory. You can't really count on Queen making bogey with that drive. It got some carry up the fairway. Let's see how big Drew goes. Is it flipping too far right? Wow. Oh, that's up near the corner. It has to be.
Eagle range.
It has to be.
You could hear Paul Ulibarri, who has been caddying for Gibson. I mean, he elatedly said, yes, that was a great shot. Clean from Macbeth. Not quite as good as Gibson, but still a very good shot.
Also clean for Adam Hammis. And everyone is going to funnel down the fairway of hole 17. We're going to take another look at Nathan Queen and his tee shot. Nathan staring it down. It catches on the left side. He needs it to kick to the right. It doesn't. Little grimace. But Nathan Queen knows he has work to do. However, he's coming into hole 17 with a 3-stroke advantage. That's all you could ask for on a course like this.
Well, and Nathan Queen's getting the crash course in what it takes to take down Paul Macbeth. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy, because otherwise the guy wouldn't have 20 major championships under his belt. Look, it's a tough hole. It's a tough shot. He did miss the fairway. But, look, this is a part of the process of becoming a champion. And put all the money aside. It's just to become a champion in this fashion. This is a big step for Nathan Queen, and we're watching it right now. Let's see if he can't somehow find himself all the way home.
Can he scrap a par right now?
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, birdies from Macbeth and Gibson get them to 6. A bogey only puts Queen at 7.
But I think Eagle is
in play for at least Gibson. We can't say for sure on the Macbeth thing. But this is where the numbers do become quite important. Oh, here's Macbeth.
This doesn't feel like an Eagle position to me.
No, and typically I would say, hey, you have 3 holes, or should I say 2 holes left to play with a 3-stroke advantage. That seems like no problem. But when hole 17 is one of those holes, you have to get through 17 before you can have any lever of comfort.
Yeah, and Jamie Thomas just sent me the view of the shot that Drew Gibson has, and it's a chance. We'll put it that way. He's going to have to beat the corner just a little bit. But I think if you're Macbeth here, I think you got to think of what Queen's doing. He may bogey. Macbeth just can't take birdie off the table here.
And we heard the reaction from the gallery, and you also saw Paul Macbeth lean back, frustrating, hit a tree. And at best, Macbeth would be looking at now is birdie.
I think the fact that Queen is farther up the fairway than where we just saw Macbeth bodes very well for his chances to make the par. But I don't know exactly where his lie is.
Well, I'm taking a look right now. That is a live shot of hole 18, where we will likely be concluding in just a little while. Nathan Queen stepped up big yesterday. He needed the birdie, and he got it. Today, it might be a little easier path. He may be able to just walk away with a par. We're going to find out in a few moments. The entire section of hole number 17, as some of you can see, challenges not only our players, but sometimes challenges our cell signal. And looks like Nathan Queen is ready to go with his 3rd shot.
This is a good position.
Yep, just get to that corner. But Queen knows exactly what he has to do. And that's what he did. You know, put yourself, you got to take double bogey off the table, right? So you can't get crazy, you can't take another big kick. He put himself at that corner. He will have a chance to get up and down from distance, but still a good chance.
And he'll know his situation because he's going to see Drew Gibson. Is Drew Gibson going to be up there? C1, C2, doesn't matter with Drew Gibson right now.
Right. Drew's almost in range now. Macbeth also searching over here on this left side. It's a tricky left side here on number 17. We have to remember there is a mandatory on the corner that could affect Macbeth. We'll see it here in a moment where he ends up, but there is a mandatory on the corner which protects the long tee pad of 18 that the women do play from. So we'll see where Macbeth landed, but this is the shot from Gibson.
Got to go over that patch of sun.
Yeah, that's the line up the fairway.
I heard a tree.
Yep. Gibson doesn't stay clean.
If I'm these guys, I would also just be in their ear saying, look, you can't take birdie off the table. You can't hand it to Queen. Force Queen to make the shots. Force Queen to make the par. Look, Gibson and Macbeth have the advantage on 18 over Queen, though Queen did birdie it yesterday. Those two guys have better distance.
Can Queen give himself that easy C1 look? That would be so huge right now to take the pressure off on this treacherous green. It's not going to be an easy shot by any means. But can he get it up there close enough? Yeah, Macbeth is in trouble.
I believe clear of the mandatory. No. There's the Mando sign right there.
He has mandatory issues.
Yes, now he is. My apologies. Thought that Mando tree was actually to his left, so that Mando is in play here for Paul.
You'd have to think this has to find the green.
You hear Paul's disc trying to fight through, but very subtle applause at best for Macbeth.
I cannot believe that Paul Macbeth just made it a whole lot easier for Nathan Queen. Because that's an outside chance at best at birdie, if one at all. Kind of got to think this is almost potentially the championship shot for Queen. Low and skips forward.
He parked it.
He was unsure of where it landed, and he said they were watching it for a while.
Didn't it hit the rock?
Well, we're going to wait and see. That
I thought I saw it slide all the way to the rock. We will see.
Amos going around the same mandatory that Macbeth did. how calm Nathan Queen handled a poor tee shot.
And if Queen is at the rock, this needs to go in.
Drew Gibson up there right in the same territory as where we think Nathan Queen landed.
And that was Drew's third shot, so he will have a chance for birdie.
But that's not enough.
It's not, but it does. Paul McBeth not birdieing takes him out of it completely.
Yes.
A birdie from Gibson keeps a hole-in-one or a birdie bogey scenario in play.
True. I just think there is no way Nathan Queen coughs up a bogey on 18. As a left-hander, he can pitch it over there, but you never know. We've seen crazier things, and the pressure does make everything so much harder.
Yeah, even if Queen, well, we'll get to that.
We have to
let's
see.
Stick with McBeth
Yeah,
here.
we've got to see what happens here.
You can see the basket just over Paul's back right now.
This is Paul McBeth's fourth throw here on 17, the par 5. An aggressive run from McBeth. Really just, at that point, he's trying to throw that in.
He has to.
He needs the shot.
He has to. There's no way unless he makes birdie, I think. I mean, we'll see. Where's Queen? I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited.
Well, and that's why you got to hand it to Queen right now. He is accepting every step that comes his way. He's not trying to overplay it. He's not getting out of his routine. He's also not walking up towards his disc. I believe that it's going to be Hamilton and Paul before either Gibson or Queen. Incredible season for Hamas. Bright future for that young man. A lot more opportunities in his future.
Here's Paul McBeth for par on 17. And McBeth up and over.
That green disc is Queen, is it not? So it's not quite to the rock.
It's not, and 17 is a treacherous green. McBeth going to play quickly here.
And McBeth not really concerned at this point about whether it's second or third that he finishes in. He's only after that number one spot. Adam will tap in. He'll take the par. Hamas, again, is still going to collect the largest paycheck of his career for his fourth place effort.
Drew 100% needs this to have any hope.
And this puts the pressure on Queen, something that McBeth just failed to do. Drew making this will flip the switch on Queen just a little bit.
Gibson's birdie is in.
And now for Queen, a make allows him to play for par. A miss forces him to play for birdie. Huge moment.
Your leader, Nathan Queen, sits 8 under. This is for par and comfort on the 18th. In.
What a par save.
Nathan Queen moving into the final hole of the championships with the largest purse ever on the line, and he has a 2-stroke advantage over Drew Gibson.
Barring an ace, all he needs now Flat to hyzer with the fairway driver, jump putt to the base, and a slam dunk for $30,000.
Don't mistake Nathan Queen for anything but what he is, which is a real Wolfpack member. This guy, incredible. The only guy, by the way, we did receive the statistics on the bracket. Nathan Queen was the only player to not be picked to win the championship.
Brackets busted. Unbelievable. Nathan Queen.
That is versus over 3,500 people that picked Paul McBeth to win this championship in their bracket.
Wysocki, similar numbers.
Yeah, Wysocki, I believe, had 3,400. They were very close. Man, but hey, look, it's not easy to win $30,000. It's not easy to win a big championship. He still has to, he's going to go ahead and check, which I think is smart. He still has to put himself in bounds.
Adam.
And chip up.
The thing, honestly, that is in play here, though, is Drew Gibson misses an ace, he's OB.
Yep.
Drew Gibson has to throw for ace. If he goes out of bounds, now all of a sudden Queen doesn't even need a par.
Yep. Bogey wins it.
And I think this is in the basket or it's out of bounds. I don't see any other result here for Drew Gibson.
Gibson doesn't like it. It turns over off to the right-hand side. And that is not even a guaranteed par for Gibson. Certainly not a birdie. Well, let's backtrack. I'm going to rewind that statement immediately. We've seen what Gibson has done from long range today, but right now it is
par to win.
Nathan Queen, just a par.
Par to win.
The only man to have played this hole 4 times, and he needs just a par. He birdied it day 1, parred it day 2, birdied it day 3, which was the biggest birdie of his career. And now it's going to be the biggest par of his career if he can get it. Nathan Queen.
Oh, baby.
Oh, it's fantastic.
He likes it, folks.
It's over.
It is it. Nathan Queen will be your Pro Tour champion in 2021. Paul McBeth recognizes it. Everyone else on the card does. Nathan Queen, the ultimate upset.
Incredible. I love the aggression he played with. I was expecting him to play it so much shorter. He pushed it up there into no doubt territory. He's going to be 1 foot away from there. He won't have to any kind of upshot.
I was about to say he could throw it left-handed, but whoops, that's the actual right hand.
I think he might. I think he really might.
Hammis trying to ace run it. That's going to go deep. Does it find out of bounds? It does. It doesn't matter for Adam Hammis. Let's take another look. Yesterday, he had to get the birdie. He cans the putt to secure his spot in the finals. Today, he returns and he delivers. Nathan Queen will be your champion.
Day 1, 6 under. Day 2, 7 under. Day 3, 7 under. And he is a chip away from an 8 under par. Incredible performance from the most famous Nathan in disc golf at the moment. And I would say probably the most famous Nathan of all time, considering that you and I are both Nates. Love that guy.
You think you should win, which, if you had to bet, you would have bet Paul win. You know? So,
Yeah, probably so.
you know, I mean, you're going to split that. If Paul McBeth says, hey, you want to split, you're going to say, yeah.
Gallery moving on down. Unbelievable. The only player not picked. The lowest seed ever to leave here a champion. Let's see, Kyle Klein Jeff Corns, everyone else congratulating Nathan Queen. Just a few tosses away before he's crowned champion.
It blows my mind how we interviewed him on day one, and he said, you know, I've been working on these shots. This guy's a career player. He's a tour guy. He lives the game day in and day out, and he never once was out here just throwing the dice. He wasn't just seeing what was going to happen. He played every shot with conviction, and man, that's a lesson to be learned from a lot of people. Never give up till the very end for Nathan Queen. Now Gibson.
Adam Hammis. Get some cheers as he moves over.
Look, I think we're very lucky. I think we're about to witness live one of the best moments of a young man's life.
And he pitches up. All that's required. Nathan Queen, a slam dunk away from $30,000 and the title. Paul McBeth, your 3 seed. He'll clear out. Adam Hammis, 4 seed, taken down as well. Drew Gibson, your 12th seed. Played so well, but it didn't matter. Nathan Queen, your champion this weekend. Congratulations, Nathan.
Presenting sponsor Guaranteed Rate, the Disc Golf Pro Tour, all of our staff and all the disc golf fans around the world, please join me in crowning Nathan Queen, the 2021 check of $30,000 for
of another incredible performance. How do you feel in this moment right now?
I have no idea. It hasn't been the year that I expected from myself as far as catching at all events and everything. I took a leap and got a truck and trailer before this event to travel in next year. Paid off now. That's all I got. I don't know, man.
Well, let me tell you some stats.
Queen City, baby!
As you hear, it's the Queen City. Let me tell you, 0 Bushnell brackets this week had you picked. You were the only player. You are the lowest seeded player to win a Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, but I can bet you that people are going to pick you from now on. What do you got to say to all the fans out there?
Making it to this final day from the 28 seed, I finally got to where that seed didn't matter today. Just got to let it fly open, and look for me next year. I'm feeling good.
You got the city on your back. You've had them all weekend. The crowd was so loud every time you threw a mediocre shot. They were out of control when you made putts. How does it feel to have this level of support from the home state?
Oh, well, it really makes it feel like the Nathan Queen City today. It's just amazing, all these people out here, how much the sport has grown, how much it's progressed, and the fact that we can have this event out here. And just thank you, everybody, really.
The very last interview of the very last event of an incredible 2021 season. Give any shout-outs you need to. The stage is yours.
First off, my dad. He does so much for me. He's been out there, been working on my new truck already, putting it together. All my sponsors that keep me on the road: Innova Champion Discs, Tree Love, Flight Towel, Fit Inspired Living, and Fossa Disc Golf. All those guys help me out all the time, and I'm looking forward to playing for them again next year. And just like I said a minute ago, all the fans out here, all the players, all the support that I've gotten throughout the week is incredible. Thank you, guys.
Nathan Queen, your 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour champion.
Nathan Queen showing up on the biggest stage, coming through the 8 under, the best round of his week. We're going to bring you the award ceremony after a word from these sponsors. We'll be right back.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Go, Gotta Throw your Disc Golf Warehouse with a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, and more. Everything you need for the game you love. Online or at our Minnesota store. Gotta Go, Gotta Throw.com, your disc golf warehouse.
Hi, my name is Ava Meyer, and I'm on Team Dynamic Discs. I give out snacks. It started with me and my mom being out there and spotting, and no one showed their appreciation to the spotters. I decided that I was going to show my appreciation by giving the spotters snacks so that they feel like they are important. I'm just hoping to lead by example. Even if they don't give someone a snack, they can just go up and tell them thank you for all you do out here. Thank you for spending your day to help me.
Zuka carts are built for a better game. Our carts feature a lightweight aluminum frame that can also double as a seat for added comfort. The durable hand-washable bag with convenient zippered compartments and pockets to carry all of your course necessities. Performance tires provide unrivaled traction over any terrain. However you play, your Zuka cart has you covered. Zuka, disc golf carts for a better.
The year that make this possible. This was a record-breaking payout. Doesn't happen without our presenting sponsor, Guaranteed Rate. It doesn't happen without a bevy of tour partners throughout the entire season, including Johnsonville, including LL Bean in this tournament, but all the manufacturers, all the disc golf companies that make this possible. Just a big shout out, big round of applause for all the support in the industry, all the love in our sport that we have. And then, of course, the heartbeat of the tour is the players. It was a grind out here. This is a pressure cooker of a tournament. Everybody just grinded away all year in order just to qualify for this event. So, we're going to celebrate the top 3 and the champions today, but, it's the entire touring pro community that's out there with us, the media teams, our staff on the road, and we're all one big family. We're one big community. The sport is growing, but we're still a big family. So big shout out to the players that are putting their lives on the line every day, grinding, touring. Where's Sam?
You're good. They're live on you, Jeff. Go ahead.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to recognize the top 3 competitors for each division. Give them a chance to thank their support systems right up here. So first, in third place, give it up for, well, as a tie for second. So give it up for Heather Young and Sarah Holcomb. Come on up.
Wow, what a crowd. You guys are awesome. North Carolina knows how to do it right. I also really want to thank the local club for all their hard work in putting this event on, and the Pro Tour, the DDPT, the Disc Golf Network, and all the media partners. They've just put on an incredible show this whole year, and I look forward to the future. Also, huge congrats to Missy Gannon and Nathan Queen. And lastly, I just want to thank my sponsors, MVP Disc Sports, Zuka, and Paragon Disc Golf, as well as Mitten Bags. I look forward to next year.
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much to the Pro Tour for all you do. You make disc golf so much more exciting. You're making it grow at such an elite level so quickly. Everything you do makes our life easier and more enjoyable, and you just keep getting bigger and bigger sponsors for us, so it's amazing. Thank you to my friends and family for all your support this year. It's amazing having so many people always messaging me and just giving me so much encouragement. And then, yeah, congratulations, Missy. You played amazing today, and also Nathan. And then thank you to my sponsors, Prodigy Disc and Flight Factory. You do so much to help me on the road, and I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Sarah. Congratulations, Heather. Before I bring up the FPO champion, I'm going to recognize the third and second place winners. In third place, please give it up for Paul McBeth.
Well, thank you all for coming out and making this enjoyable crowd to play in front of. I don't know where everyone is, but thank you, Jeff, Pro Tour, for allowing us to come out here and put this whole series on and making this great finale and making it exciting with this format. So I appreciate it. I appreciate Disc Golf Network, Disc Golf Pro Tour, my sponsors, Discraft, Grip Equipment, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. I'm ready for this off season to come back strong next year. So thank you all.
All right, and how about a big round of applause for our second place finisher, the runner-up, making some truly mind-blowing putts down the stretch. Drew Gibson.
I mean, everyone said it. We can say it all over again. Thank you so much to Jeff and the whole team. I mean, it goes beyond just Jeff. The people, media guys, everything that goes on with the Pro Tour is a huge operation. The people that film the post-round stuff and go to their hotel or Airbnb and edit it for 6 hours to have it up at 7 a.m. the next day. I mean, there's a lot of people that make this stuff happen that all of us fans get to enjoy, from their hard work. So thank you to all you guys who make this stuff happen from any facet, whether it's the sponsors, the media teams. Us players know it's not easy. So thank you guys. Before I thank my sponsors or anything else, great job, Nathan. That was a battle. Played with you the last 2 days. You played incredible. I mean, Paul and I the whole time were like, man, this guy's just lacing every single shot. So incredible job, man. I mean, I don't know if I've ever really seen anyone throw that many good shots in a row. So great going out there, dude. They looked impressive. Great to play with you. Paul, Adam, nice to play with you guys as well. I want to thank Infinite Disc for all their support for me. I want to thank UB7 Footers for their support and Revolution Bags. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next year.
He celebrated her earlier today with a $30,000 check and a trophy to her name. Give it up for Missy Gannon.
Well, thank
you guys so much. I honestly feel like we had a similar sized gallery when we came through, so thank you all for being here and for cheering us on. I really have to give a shout out to Tom. You know, he's my life partner, my life caddy. He just keeps me calm, and in situations like this, I was just so fortunate to have him by my side. Also have to thank the Disc Golf Pro Tour and everybody that's involved, all the media teams. You know, apparently I broke some sort of record this year, so in terms of payout, so that couldn't be possible without the hard work of the tour, getting the sponsors behind us, and yeah, I'm pretty incredible, and huge shout out to you guys, and yeah, love you all. Also, obviously, thank you to my sponsors, Discraft, Grip Equipment, Whale Sacks, and OTB Discs. And also, congratulations, Nathan. I was watching the whole way. That was so awesome to see. And yeah, many more to come, I'm sure. Thank you, guys.
All right, and you saw it unfold here. Home state hero. Give it up for Nathan Queen, our men's champion.
Oh man, everybody else already said it. I'll go ahead and say it again. Thank you to Jeff and the Disc Golf Pro Tour, everybody involved on the staff for all that you've done this year, the entire year long. The unsurpassed live coverage compared to the rest of the seasons that we had this year. All of it's just incredible. I am so happy to be a part of this final event. Like I said earlier, I wasn't doing great throughout the year, and I just barely squeaked in with a good finish at Maple Hill. After that first round, I still had to settle my head a little bit, so Friday morning I went out to ride my mountain bike because that's how I try to calm myself down. I was listening to an All That Remains song on the way there, and I got the biggest set of chills that I've gotten thinking about this moment right here. And at that point, I already knew in my head that it was going to happen. And I came through with it and made it happen. And this is the most incredible feeling I think I've had. And thank you to all my family, friends, fans, especially my dad, Rebecca. Thank you for being there for me. My sponsors, Innova Champion Discs, Flight Towel, Fossa Disc Golf, Tree Love, and Fit Inspired Living, and the entire state of North Carolina. Thank you guys for being here. All right, well, lastly, we've got a bright future in front of us. I want to give a big shout out to the Professional Disc Golf Association. We're very meaningful partners after a recent tour merger, which is setting us up for an even bigger year next year. So shout out to the PDGA. We're going to be back in better than ever in 2022. Are you guys going to be here with us? Yeah! All right, let's go. That's a wrap on 2021. Thanks for coming out. Have a great, safe ride home. We'll see you next year.
Well, the on-site fans may be taking off, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be coming right back here for the OTB After Show. We'll see you in a moment.
Daily fantasy sports made easy. Simply pick the over-under on 2 or more players, and that's it. You can win up to 10 times your money in just one day. Download the PrizePicks app today and get your first deposit match up to $100.
There's no shortage of things to make us anxious these days.
With all the chatter in the world, it's easy to get knocked off balance.
Quiet Mind naturally promotes a zen-like calm without dulling your abilities.
Eric Weimer, blind man, wanted to climb Mount Everest, and he believed it was possible. Guaranteed Rate is a mortgage lender who understands the power of belief, because if you believe, you will.
All right. Last commercial did pretty good, but we got to top it somehow. Hope you guys came prepared with some notes. I don't see any notes. Let's hear your ideas.
And welcome back to the OTB After Show. I'm joined by Nate Sexton along with Nate Dawson. Gentlemen, the most unlikely of champions walking away from here, the 28th seed, 0 picks in the brackets. How does he pull that off?
Well, I don't know if it's the Wolf Pack or rock and roll. We're not sure which one it is, but I'll tell you, the way he did it was by believing in himself. You could even see it in his post-round interview. Nathan Queen was a little bit behind the 8 ball. He didn't feel like he performed up to what he thought was going to be his 2021 season. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you put yourself in that position, you do incredible things. And the shots that he threw, not just today, but from Thursday afternoon to this afternoon, were just incredible. And, you know, honestly, you just can't be more happy for a guy like Nathan Queen.
Well, and Nathan Queen was able to talk to Jamie Thomas after every single round, and every time he had the smile. He knew that he was moving in, he was progressing forward. It was just such an incredible effort. And Sexton, what do you take away from what he was doing out here this week?
It was incredible. I can hardly remember a time when I've seen somebody thrust into this situation, in a situation they haven't been in that many times, with the biggest stakes we've ever played for, and then to save his best for last somehow, when every day so far all we've talked about is how fantastic he's played, and yet he saves his best for last and makes 4 straight birdies on the back 9 against the GOAT. I mean, it's just amazing. And everything we saw today, Drew Gibson, I mean, holy moly. I don't know how Nathan Queen had that in the tank, but he did.
Well, they all came to show up and play this weekend. Let's take a look at some of the action that Nathan Queen provided to us because, guys, that's what it took to slay the GOAT, to slay the McBeast, to do what he did throughout this week. Incredible. And things got started. I mean, if you want to talk about momentum, right out of the gate, hole 1, steps up, cans that putt. He struggled on 2, but then when he comes up and pures the shot on 3, that was perfect placement.
And he's just fought back. I mean, obviously, anybody who wins a championship does. But every mistake he made this week, he fought back right away with big shots. His putting was phenomenal. He connected on 10 or more C2 putts in 4 days. That's an amazing clip to be hitting those from that range. And that's what this course is. This course is too hard to be a C1 winner. You got to be making big putts, pressure putts. And he was able to do that day in and day out.
We saw him pick up opportunities like that one. Then here on 13, Drew had almost big putted him, but he said, nope, I'm going to take this one as well. He hadn't gotten in the previous days. He comes back on 14. And that one just leaks in, but it's enough. And the crowd loves it, Nate.
Well, they most certainly do. And after 14, it stopped being about the putting, and it was about him off the tee pad. This shot on 15, the Gauntlet, a signature hole on this course. He puts it inside circle 1, able to go on and tap that in. Remember, he had missed several putts early in the round. We talked about how important it was for him to get back on just get back on the horse and keep going. And it was this shot on 16, guys. We were out of our seats as far as we could be, and incredible. And when he saw that shot walking over the hill on 16, it was just amazing. And then the one on 18, Sexton, he didn't back down even an inch.
He did it from the front of the box. That to me is incredible that he was able to step up there and just go, how about a 10-footer, boys? What do you guys want to do now on this difficult 16th, on the Gauntlet? And then so aggressive off 18 to just lock it up, to put himself C2. Well earned.
Yeah, he picked up the tee pad on 13 and held the tee pad from 13 all the way home.
And you would think somebody might crack under pressure, going up against one of the greatest of all time, going up against Drew Gibson, who's throwing him in from everywhere, and at no point did he crack under that pressure. In fact, he flipped it. He was applying it to the rest of them. And then for him to come in on this final round, as you were just saying, the 6 under, the 7 under, the 7 under, he saves the best for last, shoots the 8 under. We were talking about it throughout the entire week. What would be the winning score? In fact, we put it up on YouTube. What was the poll for what would be the winning score? 8 under was my guess. Nathan Queen said, yeah, that sounds good. I'll take an 8 under, and I'm going to ride this home to the largest paycheck. As soon as he got done, I think he looked to Jeff, and he's like, I want one of those big checks, like Happy Gilmore used to collect. And then he took it, and he said, I'm going to ride this around the green. And Nathan Queen, so incredible. Congratulations to him. And as we all catch our breath collectively, I'm going to give you any final words here on the 2021 season, Nate.
Look, World Championships, the shot, USDGC, the playoff, and now this, all in one season. Pinch yourself, because we've been so lucky to see the action we've been able to see. I cannot believe it. It's the greatest season that there's ever been. That I, in my opinion,
the bar has been set and then reset here in 2021. Nate, you've been at this a long time. You've been helping out. You haven't been playing, but you've been helping out in so many capacities. As he just said, the bar's been reset here in 2021. What are you looking forward to in the future, or maybe even reflect here on this year for you?
Well, I think there's a lot of time for all of us to reflect on what we saw in 2021 and, how thankful we all are to have the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and how thankful we are to have live disc golf and post-production disc golf and everything. A lot of people out there in this world want to make it about this person or that person. No, it ain't about who wins and loses. At the end of the day, disc golf wins. We all are here because of each other. We're not here because of one individual person. I help you, you help me, he helps him. Look at what you saw out there today. Everybody was out there walking with them, being with them side by side with Nathan Queen, and we were right there with him too. In 2021, 2021, I just realized that I am one of the most lucky people because I've been a part of this sport since 1993. I have seen the greatest champions throughout each generation, and in 2021, it has been topped once again. Paul Macbeth, the greatest player of all time, taken to the limit, and then he comes through last weekend. If that didn't make you cry or give you goosebumps, go to the doctor because you got a problem. And then to see something like today, Nathan Queen. Look, in 2005, I won a world championship without even winning an A tier in my career. I'm not saying this is the world championship, and I'm not saying Nathan Queen isn't going to go on to do incredible things or one way or another, but that moment for him will be something he will never forget, and I know for us too it won't be either. So big thanks to everybody out there. Big thanks to both of you, to Ian, to Philo, to Elaine, to everybody that I've worked with throughout this entire season. It's just been an honor, and I can't wait for the next one.
It has been incredible, and all of us from a media perspective, clearly you guys have your titles and you've conquered so many different events, but then to step on this side of the camera has also been incredible, and the world benefits from it. So thank you to the both of you, and I'm going to echo what you were just saying. All of the staff members and crew, not just the media crew, but everyone that's part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the Disc Golf Network. That includes people like Sean Jack, who are out there getting these big name sponsors and bringing them to the payouts, bringing them week in and week out. Of course, everybody has thanked Jeff Spring, as we should, but every single person that had anything to do with the Disc Golf Pro Tour here in 2021, along with our governing body in the PDGA. Of course, that new partnership that we're looking forward to is going to only make things grow and expand. I have to thank Valerie and yourself, who have been hosts and putting in the time here in the studio throughout these last few years, and even providing a studio to us, and then all of our control room back in the Milwaukee studios. Looking forward to that growing and expanding in 2022 and beyond. I don't have many more words, guys, and I know that sounds crazy. Go ahead, Nate.
I have just one simple request.
Yes.
In the outro, call us Nathan.
That's right.
In honor of the champ.
It's the week for the champ. It's all Nathan from here on out, right?
I'm good with that. We've got Nathan out on the course, along with Nathan Queen, our champion.
And we got one more shot of the day.
Oh, we do?
We have one more shot of the day.
Let's roll it.
Speaking of Nathan.
We got more Nathan action. Let's give it to you. One more shot of the day, our OTB, only the best shots.
Well, there was too many. There was way too many to count, but it was the one on 18. He did not back down. And, you know, to be fair to the great Nathan Queen, let's just sit back
and watch it from multiple angles, as you're saying. The reaction. To soak it all in. Nathan Queen.
Look, you guys have been around the game a long time, just like I have, and you know as well as I do that lefties stick together. And this is the moment they've been waiting for. This is the biggest accomplishment by a left-handed professional in disc golf history.
Well, and we're going to add another one on that as we're watching it from all angles. I think you said that in 146 events in North Carolina, Nathan Queen has not made as much money as he did this weekend. That's incredible.
It is. Congratulations to him. Look at this thing. Just how much he boosted that shot is so impressive to me in that moment. He could have played at 150 short. No, he just said, I'm confident. There's no way I'm going to cough up a bogey here. I'm going to put this thing 45 feet away. Right away.
Wow, after the release, it was just,
That was all he needed. North Carolina erupts, and I can't think of a bigger premonition than the Queen City.
Exactly.
I mean, if that...
It's amazing.
I don't know. I think he's going to be vying for every tournament to be played here from now on, because the performance that he put in this weekend is like, we may never see it again. The 28th seed taking it all the way to the bank.
We said that after James Conrad threw a shot in that will be heard around the world. But, man, this wasn't just one shot. This was definitely an entire week's worth of preparation. Man, it was the perfect finish to a wonderful year. That's right.
I just got confirmation it wasn't Wolfpack, it was rock and roll.
It was rock and roll.
It was rock and roll.
We gotta
What
get
are you going to
those
do? Rock and roll.
The rock and roll. Well, we're going to rock and roll out of here. It's been an incredible season, an incredible year, as you guys just said. Thank you to all of our subscribers who have tuned in. If you've had any part of supporting the Disc Golf Network and the Disc Golf Pro Tour, whether it's through the viewership or attending on site, being one of those fanatics that are out there running around on the green, taking it all in, we appreciate each and every one of you. Again, thanks to all hands that have been on deck. For Nathan Sexton, for Nathan Doss, for Nathan Perkins out in the field, and for Terry Nathan Miller, we're going to call it a day. This has been the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships presented by Guaranteed Rate. We'll see you next time.